found out what happened to all my store's pens.
You stole them?
I apparently stole them all.
There you go.
Every
Cleaning
last...
out my... Yep. I'm apparently the reason they have to order more.
Wow.
Apparently I have a hobby for collecting pens and Sharpies. I'm cleaning out my work backpack and I'm like, why the hell is it so heavy? Apparently literature weighs it down. Oh look, another pen.
So is Sir Hammerlock gonna make his triumphant return tonight?
Who knows?
I mean, Dova would.
He's probably not going to answer.
Whatever happened to his Lady Hammerlock? Oh, she's on another planet vault hunting somewhere.
Huh.
Unless he's gonna stumble across a gator and a bat in a cage again.
Joke's on you. We're kaiju hunting for some reason.
Alright. I think I've got some.
Oh.
Does it feature Sir Hammerlock?
Maybe.
Unhinged, you say?
Unhinged.
Everything's unhinged when Dusty's involved. He will walk into a tavern full of criminals and play cards.
Yep.
You know this. Hey. Hey there, Power Stone. Glad you've been liking Dusty. Hey, that's just what Dusty does. It's just how I made him.
Tales of our endeavors proliferate.
Yeah, the Monday group really found out
Tales
how
of
much
our
worse it could be.
endeavors Proliferate.
Really?
Yeah, we're getting lots of people hosting us.
Awesome, awesome.
Hey, Nolly, it's been a while. Great to see you again. I want to come on back in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Echoes of Dungeons and Dragons. I have absolutely no idea where we left off last week, so...
Well, that's fine because you'll be nowhere near where you left off either.
Oh wait, I remember now! We had a beach party!
Oh yeah.
Anyways...
Lots of fun. Yeah. So, yeah, last we left off, you guys had a fun little beach party. And by beach party, I mean very intensive search sort of a procedure going on when a couple of beach bullies came over and challenged you to a game of netball. And Yark and Dusty rose to the occasion and barely beat him by one single point. Hot dogs were had, and then the party ventured forth through an underwater cave into what you think to be the hideout of a wanted man who had perhaps a duplicate or a body double or something or other who you killed earlier. However, that is not what's going to happen today. Today, since we're missing 2 party members, something else is going to happen. as you all were making your way through the underwater tunnel, basically following whoever was in front of you.
Zarth.
Yeah, Zerth, you were in front, kind of pulling both Dusty and Sinel along by the tail.
Yep.
You were going the way that you thought was the correct way, but at some point you might have, you think you might have taken a wrong turn. You don't remember there being a fork in the tunnel, but suddenly there is now, and going down the left fork doesn't seem to be the right way. And as you're turning back, you are presented with what looks to be almost like a shimmering wall in front of you, like a reflection, almost like looking up towards the surface. That sort of mirror-like reflection, where the air meets the water. And you see that it's about 10 feet behind you, just behind Sinel. And as you kind of move to pull him away from that, you realize that there's another one in front of you, slowly kind of pressing in from both sides. You kind of look to see if there's anything you can do, but there's not, as it kind of accelerates towards you, and you brace for impact as you're smashed between the two walls. All of you collapse onto the ground, heaving and coughing and sputtering and spitting water all over the place. The new place that you're in is incredibly dark, almost pitch black. It is also extraordinarily quiet right now. The only sound being this weird, almost an arcane sizzling, kind of like the sound of. You remember Yark doing some experiments with arcane thunder, these little sparks that came out of his hand, and you can hear that right now, little crackles and sparks. And as you kind of come to and try to look around, your surroundings are much different than when you went in. Around you, it's silent, it's dark, but the walls, the ceiling, the floor, it's made of this. It's hard to tell, but kind of like a grayish, reddish metal. There's these strange tubes and pipes that run along both the floor and the walls and the ceiling. And as you look behind you, you can see that you're on almost like a plinth, just in front of a large circular-looking hoop, with just the remnants of that same shimmering effect kind of slowly fading until it's gone.
Wow.
There's another one of those sort of sizzling sounds, and then kind of like a crack, almost like glass shattering, before the heavy thunk and clanging sound of what looks to be kind of a circular metal lantern, perhaps, is kind of pushed out from this archway. Archway is a complete loop, by the way.
Huh.
As it clangs to the ground, you can see that it's metal capped on both ends with almost like a glass
Tales of our
walls,
endeavors
glass
proliferate.
cylinder walls, and on the inside is what appears to have been a solid rod of some sort of orangish material, but now it's completely cracked in half and shattered with pieces of it kind of littering the inside. You can also see some scorch marks on the inside. But around you, the only light are these very faint, almost like lightning bugs, except they're actually almost kind of like the light from stars. They're very small, kind of dim, but very steady.
Oh.
What do you do?
Remember
Dusty
not to-
stares in utter complete confusion.
Mhm.
And looks to Zarth, asking, "So, do you think We should get a broom. That's a lot of broken glass, I think.
Zer's just looking around, and then looks at Dusty. If I didn't know better, I would say this was Yark's doing.
Well, I mean, I guess he's not here to defend himself.
Mm,
So
I'm gonna have to have a word with that mini lizard.
he's very explosion prone. Maybe.
Mm. Is there like any doorways around us?
There is actually. There's two. You think they're a doorway? It's some weird. You would have heard of like sliding doorways. Some places do have, instead of like a hinge door, they have kind of a sliding doorway. And you can see that there's one on the opposite side of you and this plinth on this not very large room. It's about 20 by 40 feet ish, with the archway being about that full like 20 feet in diameter. And on the opposite side of the room is that one doorway. You can see it is slightly ajar. There's a kind of a thick black line right in the middle. And there's also what looks to be a similar thing off towards the left, right next to the wall. It looks it has an orange stripe running down the middle, almost exactly where it would kind of meet the two halves of the door. The other one is just a plain gray with bits of what look like rust.
Zer's gonna head over with his hammer drawn at the ready towards the one with the orange.
All right. Heading towards there, you notice that the air is stagnant. It hasn't been disturbed for a very, very long time. And moving towards it, you're at the door right now, and you can see that there's some sort of strange, maybe an arcane lock. It has a few different, almost like colored jewels inset into it, right at waist level. But it's not really emitting any sort of magical energies as far as you're sensitive to, which is actually you would be sensitive slightly, but you wouldn't detect any coming from this.
I'm gonna touch one of the jewels.
You touch it, doesn't seem to respond at first. You touch it a little bit harder, and it sort of clunks downwards for a moment. You bring your hand back out, and it slowly kind of pops back outwards with a very faint click. However, the door does nothing.
Well, that's all I can do. Off to the next door.
All right.
Oh, you didn't try hard enough. Put all your weight into it.
Attack! And Dusty charges in to attack the door.
Which door? The one he was just interacting with, or
Yes.
the one that is slightly ajar?
No, the one he was interacting with.
All right. What are you gonna do?
He's going to attack it with his fist.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
You got it.
No, Dusty, don't.
Attack!
Wham! And there's like a ringing noise as it almost rings like a gong. As you bring your fist back, you realize, oh god, that hurt so much. You just wave your hand and kind of suck in and basically just curl up a little bit. That feels like your hand might have broken, but there was no like crunching sound as before, so you'll see. But it hurts like hell.
Ooh.
The
Okay.
door is unimpressed.
All right, a kick next time. Okay.
I meant the big guy, you know. The gator would have a better chance at breaking it down.
Hand.
I'm gonna pat Dusty. Nice try. A for effort.
Thank you.
He's gonna take his big mallet of a warhammer and slam it into the console.
All right. Go ahead and give me an attack roll. All right. You take your warhammer, bring it up, and smash it down into the small kind of jewel-encrusted panel. It it almost immediately kind of dents inwards. One of the jewels kind of popping off and clacking onto the ground. And as you bring your warhammer back, you see that there's a handful of these metal threads inside, just sort of leading up into these jewels. The door is unimpressed. However, there is a pretty good impression where your warhammer struck it.
Is there a check that I can make to see if I recognize what this is? Like,
Dusty's looking at it and thinking noodles.
No.
Metal noodles.
You
like, have I seen something close to like this wiring kind of thing?
Odd or even?
Odd.
You have never really seen anything like this.
Mm.
The artifice used by Kyrie is much more... It kind of just works. There's no real connections involved. It's just sort of interfaced with magically. You'll just like run your hand across a rune kind of in a recess on this tablet, and the tablet will automatically do whatever you requested of it. For example, the piece of artifice that the mounted officer used to print off identification papers, stuff like that. There's no real, clicking and clacking involved.
Mm.
So something like this is pretty unfamiliar.
I'm going to rip these wires out.
All right, you start yanking on wires and pulling on them. You manage to pull pretty much all of the wires out. And you now have basically a handful of these reddish and blue wires.
Yay.
Is the door still unimpressed?
The door is unimpressed.
What do I have to do to please you?
There is the other door.
Maybe we should look at other door now.
Zerf's gonna put those wires back and then cast mending.
All right.
There's nothing to see here.
You start casting mending, and you're having a hard time. You're doing your end just fine, but trying to pull some of the magic from your goddess, it's hard. And after about 30 seconds, you're finally able to get enough in so that you're able to complete the casting. And slowly the wires start to kind of snake their way back in the small metal panel, reaffixing itself. And it is now, again, inert, but now intact.
I'll take a mental note of that, but I won't say anything. As I just take Dusty and just kind of shoo him away towards the other door.
I'm gonna punch this one? No, I shouldn't. I'm going to kick this one.
All right. Are we doing like a fireman's kick, like kicking a door in, or are you doing like a spinning roundhouse kick?
Fireman's kick.
All right. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Hoi!
All right. Bong! The door remains fixed in place. Your foot kind of hurts a little bit, but you braced yourself and you learned from your mistakes, and you managed to avoid damaging yourself.
I knew it. Good thing I didn't get fancy.
Zerf's just shaking his head, trying not to chuckle. It's very hard.
Could I please get a perception check from everybody?
Yes.
Sure. I'm looking at the floor.
Oofta. Oh. By the way. What did he be with here?
Well, Dusty's also got advantage.
DeSoto would be here.
Oh.
DeSota's almost with Sentinel.
I will remind you, Dusty has advantage on perception checks that require hearing.
Alright. Go ahead and roll with advantage then.
So just
Could
roll
you
again.
please turn down the music, Zim? Thank you. Roll again. There you go. Alright, so. This would be.
Soda also has advantage on hearing and smell.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, DeSoto and Dusty. Through this crack in the doorway, in the darkness, somewhere, you don't know where, you hear a small, kind of, almost what sounds to be a squeaky wheel. A small kind of chiming noise, almost like the sound that one would make with a glass or a wine glass and a wet finger, kind of running along the rim to get that
That pitch.
ringing noise. It's that, but it alternates between high and low pitch, and it's rather quiet.
Oh,
Something like that.
what's this? Ooh, what's...
And you can see that DeSoto has kind of turned his ears to face through the crack and is kind of looking at it curiously. His head kind of dipping a little. What do you do?
He will peek in the door.
All right. Looking through the crack, you can't really see much. However, you can see straight through. Is definitely another hallway leading to a wall. Maybe a 10-foot. Sorry. Probably a 10-foot wide hallway. You can't really see either way, or you can't really see to either side. But you do see towards the left, kind of about eye height for someone who's a little bit taller. There's a series of signposts. There's signs, not really signposts. However, the script you're in is totally alien to you. It's clear that there are almost directional signs pointing to either left, right, and there's one of them that's actually has an arrow pointing downwards.
What is this mystery? He's going to look in the downward direction and expect floor.
There's a floor.
Okay, maybe it says down floor.
You can see your toes. You're wearing shoes? Never mind. You can see your boots.
Yes, I think I'm the only character wearing shoes.
Exactly. You are.
Yeah.
All right. But you guys.
Why did you come up for that? I say yeah, and the lexic pops up.
Would you like to buy some shoes? We can't see through the door, can we?
You can see through the little crack in the door. Yes.
So we can stand here and wonder, or we can
Also,
find
I'm
out where
hearing
their signs
something.
go.
I don't know what it is, but it's very high pitched and alternating a little bit. Let's go say hi. Let's go.
With caution.
Okay.
Enthusiastic, but caution.
Dusty will try to start pushing the door open.
All right, go ahead and give me a strength check. It starts to kind of creak and grind open, but it hits a little catch, and you're unable to push it any further.
Dusty wedges himself between it and starts like, with his back against one end, starts pushing with his legs like. Come on.
It's stuck on something, and like on the maybe on the outside, maybe it's stuck on something. But you can see that it's actually like going into the wall, so you really couldn't reach in there. And yeah, you might need just a little more power.
Can I help him out?
Yeah.
You were probably the one intended for this.
Dusty, either you could roll one more time, or Zerth could.
Oh, you know Dusty's gonna do his best.
Hey,
Just
just
like that.
You can
with
do it,
Zerth
my son.
helping, there's a with Zerth helping, there's almost like a crunch, like the sound of maybe like sand inside the track of the door, as it finally grinds open. Both sides, at least, are all the way open, and now there's a roughly 5 foot wide doorway in front.
Whew. I did it.
Yes, you did. So proud of you.
Whew. Let's go.
All right. So now that you can actually see the closer side of the wall, you can actually see that there's a few items scattered around the door. One of them is a crowbar. As you lift it up, it seems to be made of what feels to be steel, but it's a little bit lighter than you would expect. You also find what looks to be a pair of shears, except they're very intricate. They've got little, almost divots cut into it. And looking closely, you can see more of those strange letters on it. On each of the divots, actually, almost labeling what it is or which one it is. You're not quite sure. And then finally, you find it's a strange device. It's about the size of a deck of cards, except it is a garishly bright yellow, along with some more of those strange kind of jewels pressed into it, kind of like the other door had.
Could this be the cell phone?
Zerf's gonna grab that one.
All right. And you can see that. Actually, no, you wouldn't see that yet. All right.
Dusty's going to try and peek into the door that's in the wall and try to figure out what made that crunching sound. I hope it didn't break anything, but also take that door.
As you peer into it, the actual like space between the door and like the wall is very, very small. Maybe a millimeter at most. And it's hard to fathom getting something like this something this big with this much precision. And as you look into it, you can't really see that far in.
Neat. He's gonna try to like push a finger inside just to see if he can.
You can fit like the tip of one of your claws in, but that's about it.
It's so small. Like, this is narrower than a door hinge. What the hell? What kind of place are we in?
No true words have ever been spoken.
Who has the time to make this?
People with no hobbies.
I guess.
This little box, does it have like a button or something on it?
It seems like it would do the same thing as those the things on the wall on the door, those buttons. It also has a rather large, looks to be a rotating piece in the middle, with a pointer that goes towards a multitude of selections with different symbols that you've never really seen before.
I'm going to turn the rotating piece.
That looks
There's
important.
there's a heavy click as it turns over to the next part, and the space, the immediate space around you, is very dimly lit up as a small light kind of sprouts forth from a piece of clear black glass right on the front of it, just above the other buttons. And as you look at that small kind of piece of glass, and there's small characters on it, actually. Some of the same characters that are all around you, but you can't tell what.
I'm gonna try to tap one with my claw.
All right. As you press down on it, a small kind of finger-like probe pushes out from the top, and you can see that it's tipped with a strange-looking metal. But that's really all that happens.
Siddle's just gonna scratch the side of his head looking at all this stuff and just mutter, "Do we even know where Yark is? He'd be all over this stuff."
He would. Let's bring as much as we can. It'll blow his mind.
Good idea. You start gathering up this stuff and carry it out for us.
I'm
Where
the
is
smallest
out?
person here.
Yeah, but you can also
But
fly.
okay. Which means I have to be light to do that.
Nah, you'll be fine. You can do it.
Well, okay, if you say so.
Zer's just gonna look at Sino, giving him that look. It's like, why? Why? What have you done?
Siddle's just gonna give a cheeky grin back.
Just shaking his head.
Siddle
He's
is
the serious
the-
type, but he likes Dusty.
When it comes to Dusty, Siddle just likes to encourage his stranger behavior, I think would be the good term.
Hey, do you still have those pots and pans? I mean, pot and shovel? No, wait, it broke. Never mind.
No, I still have the head of the shovel. And the pan.
Well, there's something here. Maybe we should alert it.
There you go,
There's-
buddy.
I don't wish that on anybody.
Siddle's pulling out the pot and the head of the broken shovel.
If a gator could give you the worst death glare ever, he is boring it into your skull right now. As he's just absentmindedly touching the thing, trying to
Fiddle something.
compose himself.
Give me an intelligence check. As you are kind of playing around with it, there's a moment where you're kind of practicing what different buttons to press in the dial, and you actually managed to make a small insy binsy, almost like a spark of lightning, jump between 2 points on these small metal fingers, the prongs. It's very small, and there's a very quiet click when it happens, both from the button and the small jolt of electricity.
Okay, that got Zeus' attention.
Mm.
He's gonna hold it up to his ear to see if he can hear anything.
hold it up to your ear. You can't really hear much. It's silent.
He's gonna start walking down the hallway as he's gonna fiddle with this.
All right. What was going on with the pots and pans?
I'm handing the pot and shovel, Dusty.
All right.
That's why Zer's walking away.
Dusty? I think he's muted right now.
Hello, I'm back.
Hi.
What's up?
Pot and pan? Or you were handed a pot and the end of the broken shovel?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, now he's got a. Because Sinel gave him the things, and he can't not.
Oh, well, no, you cannot, but.
Too late, he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Bong, bong, tonk, tonk, bong.
Oh, turn.
Everybody go ahead and give me a perception check with disadvantage, because he's playing the pot and pan right next to you.
Yep. Ah.
Your musical talent is gonna get us killed.
Well, I didn't put the disadvantage on DeSoto, but
I
can't
don't
get
think
any
it matters.
lower.
Sinnoh, as he's playing, making a ruckus, as it echoes through the hallway that you're in, past these darkened corners and off into this almost blackened abyss, you think you hear something. You're not quite sure.
Sinel is going to do something different.
He's gonna take away that pot and shovel head.
No, he's just gonna put his hand down and hold it down. Clearly looking alert.
Dusty will stop and put it on the ground, imitating Sinel.
And
Silence.
of course, we're listening.
Nothing audible besides your breathing, and actually all of you will be able to hear it now. Somewhere from around the corner, there's that small sound, kind of like a squeaky carriage wheel. But that wasn't it. You heard something else, Sinnoh. You hear it again. Somewhere off in the distance, you hear a screech. Not like an animal, more like a human. This, quite honestly, kind of breathy shriek. You don't know how far away it is, as it's kind of distorted and echoed as it passed through these hallways. Nothing else.
I'll quietly relay what I heard to the others.
I'll stop in mid-step, and I'll put the magical box into my pocket. Did it sound like it was in distress?
You couldn't really tell, Sinnoh.
Couldn't really tell what.
You couldn't really tell if it was in distress, Sinnoh.
Oh, I will relay that.
But what if it's a goat?
Then we'll have a good feast tonight.
Yeah.
So do we investigate the creepy wheel sound, or do we investigate the creepy person sound.
I think the wheel one is closer. That wheezy shriek sounded like it was distant. Also, Sinnoh, here's your pot and pan back. We have to be serious now.
I will hide it away.
There'll be more times for you to practice when I'm far, far away from you.
Okay.
Zer's gonna slowly go towards the sound of the wheel.
All right. Everyone else following?
Yes.
All right. As you start heading off in that direction, you pass a few intersections and kind of just keep following where you think the sound is. The surroundings are strange, for sure. There's these paintings and posters on the wall depicting strange situations which you've never really thought about before. They're all humans in these posters, but the block letterings clearly import some sort of very important information that with your culture and your experiences you're really not able to glean, other than warning about perhaps a certain race of individuals that seem to very loosely resemble birds, except they're kind of scaled. They have these gigantic claws, and they're often depicted wielding weaponry of some sort that you really can't determine what it is.
Ooh.
And it's
Bird people. I want to have a sky fight with one of them.
up ahead. You actually start to see a very brief amount, a very dim amount of light. And it's at about this point that you would encounter a desiccated and almost bleached skeleton on the ground.
Ooh.
Looking at it, it's dressed in what used to be probably white clothing, with a small blue cross on an emblem on one of the shoulders. You can't tell if it was male or female, but it was carrying a small, what looks to me be maybe a very thin kind of wooden box with a small handle on top, with that same kind of blue emblem on it.
He's going to look at the skull and try and figure out if this was one of them bird thingies.
It definitely looks human. You've seen a human skull before, and this is it. It does actually. Give me a medicine check.
Okay.
Anyone? Dusty.
He is not bad.
It has a slightly taller head than you think a human would,
Huh.
but otherwise it looks completely human.
It looks human. It's a little tall, though. Skull, anyway.
Can I do a check to see what the cause of death was?
Go ahead and give me a medicine check with disadvantage since there's no flesh to speak of. The amount of evidence just isn't really there. Although you do note that the arm has been separated from the right side of the torso and is a few feet away, and you think that was done sometime before death.
Dusty is going to pick up that thin box and look it over.
All right. It's very, very smooth. As you pick it up, there's a slight rattling from inside as there's something inside. And looking at the latch, it's very simple, made of this, what looks like a flexible You're not quite sure what it is, but it's light as wood. It feels rather strong.
Hmm.
And it's
He's gonna
about the
try to
size of a shoebox, maybe a very small briefcase.
Sure.
All right,
You
it's
see,
it's
when
easy.
you said flexible, I thought Phil Swift, don't fail me now. He is the creator of Flex Tape.
It's not too hard to figure out the latching mechanism. You pretty much just lift up on these tabs, and it just kind of clicks open. And as you swing it open, inside, you see a handful of strange-looking items. You see these rounded vials full of some sort of liquid. One of them is a bright red and kind of the same-ish color as a healing potion. The other one is it's kind of a dull, opaque orange. And you also see a small vial full of a dull bluish liquid.
He looks very interested in these.
There's also a roll of what looks to be bandages wrapped in this. The best comparison you can get is maybe like wax paper, but it's very, very thin, and it's clear actually. You find two of those rolls of what looks like bandages, and you also find a looks to be the hilt of a sword. Except everything's very rounded, kind of like it's made from tubes. And the hilt of the guard is kind of slightly off kilter.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems that it was made that way, as you can't really put it back in proper position. But there's no blade, and there's no indication that the blade is broken off either. It's just the handle.
Okay. Now, I'm going to roll a D100. If it's a 95 or higher, Dusty's gonna just try to drink one of the things. Probably that
Alright.
blue one.
Mm-hmm.
Very close. Okay. He's going to show the others, but he's going to pick up the handle.
All right.
And
Leaving
just
everything else?
Look it over. Oh yeah, he's very interested in that sword handle.
Okay. All right, you pick up the handle. Are you guys going to be continue moving on, or are you going to stay here for a little while?
Can I?
I found a bunch of things in there, but what is this? Maybe it's a ghost sword. And he swings it around.
Zerf's gonna look at the body. You said it was wearing white clothes.
Yes. It's more of a beige color now. It's kind of rotted away a little bit.
Is there any
but
keys?
It used to be white. Teeth?
Keys.
Keys?
Mm-hmm.
You do not find any keys. However, kind of rooting around, hidden in a fold of fabric was what looks to be a small, very thin, almost like a playing card that kind of looks like your guys' identification papers. It's just one playing card, and it has a picture on it. On it is a very, in comparison, it looks like a very sort of gaunt human. A human male, kind of oldish, balding with white hair and a small mustache. There's a few more of those characters, but you really can't tell what it means. And you're just kind of pinned on with this small clamp.
He'll take it off and show the group. Looks like our ID cards. Let's go deeper, but
oh yeah, like those identification papers.
Yeah, but he'll point with his tail to the corpse and then to the arm. It's like that happened before he passed away. So be on guard.
Okay. I'll be really careful not to let my arm get chopped off.
Good rule of thumb right there. And then he'll look over at us, feel free to have the bones.
I mean, I like meat more, but I guess I can play with bones.
As Zerth would lead farther down into the hallway.
All right. So you continue onwards, and as you guys are starting to leave, DeSoda kind of stops, turning around with one foot kind of held up, just kind of halfway. He's just kind of stopped, looking back towards the hallway you guys just came from, into the almost pitch blackness for a moment. Kind of scans for a little bit, and then reluctantly continues forward, following after you guys.
Did we all see that?
Yeah. As you stopped hearing his footsteps behind you, you kind of looked to see what was going on. You saw him kind of look back for a moment, and then continue following you.
Huh.
Sentinel will look back, trying to see if he can spot anything.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Or hear, or,
Barely over your guys' breath and kind of scuff of feet across the very cold metal flooring. You would hear a misplaced scuffle, something that wasn't from you guys. And looking back in that direction, you're not sure, because as it gets darker and darker, these the blood vessels in your eyes kind of make uncertain shapes in the darkness, and you think that's probably what you saw, a very brief kind of faint shape moving somewhere out there, but you're not quite sure.
I'll whisper quietly to the others. We seem to have company behind us.
Oh, how far is it?
About 60 feet behind you. That's where you saw the brief bit of movement kind of move from the hallway kind of around a corner.
I'll motion and point out where it went.
All right.
I could get a little closer, I guess. I'm good at spotting things that are hard to see.
We could also lay in wait. If it is following us, we can go around a corner and then spring.
Dusty will look at his
That
hilt,
sounds like a good
disappointed
idea.
that it is not, in fact, a ghost blade. It is just a hilt.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's anything like to press on it.
Looking at it a little bit more closely now, you can see that there is a trigger, much like a crossbow.
Ooh, what's this? He presses that.
All right. There's a small click, and the hilt kind of shudders in your hand briefly as a small jet of what looks to be just a puff of dust shoots out from one of the sides of the hilt.
Ooh.
As it does so, you can smell something very kind of acrid, but it also carries that sort of that sickly sweetness that some healing potions and other potions do.
Huh.
Congratulations, Dusty. You found the legendary rust blade.
Cool. I mean, I like it, but I'm still confused. Unless this thing, like, shoots out its sword?
I think we're all confused.
He's gonna click it again. He's gonna...
All right. Same thing happens, except this time there's really no dust, and that little bit of what smells like potion is a little bit larger. But again, it basically jets out and then immediately dissipates into the air around you.
Huh. Neat. I can't use it, but neat.
Hmm.
I also know better than to just stick it in my face and smell it.
All right. You stick your nose close to it and sniff it, and yeah, it smells like healing potion. Kind of.
Yeah. Okay. I'll play with it more later. Or maybe when I find a sword for it. Maybe I can make one. No, not me, but someone else.
That's that could be possible.
You continue onwards.
Yeah, we would
believe so.
continue on, and swing around a corner like we were discussing.
All right. You do so. You find a corner on your way there and just kind of make a nonchalant turn right around it and just wait. 30 seconds passes by. A minute. The only sound around you, the quiet huffs of your breath. It's even now quiet enough that you're starting to hear your heartbeat in your ears. Everyone go ahead and give me a perception check with advantage.
Ooh.
Hot damn.
Bada boom.
The ground, the floor beneath you, slowly creaks for a brief moment, almost like it's a ship at sea. And listening even more closely, that same kind of squeaky wheel is just a short distance away now. But you're starting to hear something else. Somewhere.
Is
Not
that what we heard?
applause.
No, that is not what you heard.
Because that's unsettling.
Yeah. A sudden audience would be very unsettling.
I mean, our donation
It's
goal is about a live studio audience, so...
Oh god, it's a flash mob.
You paid 7 Z coins for that.
I have all of the Z coins.
I'm aware, but I'm just saying you made that happen.
Just that
So I just...
that perfect timing.
That does remind me I need to reduce the cost of that one.
Right, so somewhere in these darkened hallways, you hear the sound of an unsteady gate. This almost sounds like a very heavy limp, with one of the limbs being dragged behind.
Nope, I'd rather have the studio
Continues.
audience.
Continues for a short while, maybe 30 seconds, and then somewhere stops. And you were left with silence again.
So, I think unpleasant things are in here.
How far away did it sound like it stopped?
Maybe 120 feet or so. It's hard to tell because these passageways are almost like a maze. There's quite a few of those doors on either side as you're walking these hallways.
Didn't
Sometimes
our thing
there's-
sound closer? That thing that
Gotcha.
was following us?
You're not sure?
There. Dang.
Hmm.
I feel like we might be being surrounded.
It's a trap!
If any of you have Spotify Premium, go ahead and listen to me. Got the perfect playlist.
I don't, and it makes me sad.
Yes. Unfortunate.
Zer's gonna. He's gonna whisper, get real close to both of them, so his voice doesn't echo, and go. We have two options. We can continue here to wait and see what happens, or we can jump out and run and blitz whatever's down there.
I mean, I guess. I don't like waiting. Excessively.
Because, Dusty, you may be right. It may be a trap, and the longer we sit, the worse it gets. And I have a feeling these things may know this area better than we do.
Probably.
May?
Tales of our endeavors proliferate.
Ooh.
What about you, Sino?
Who?
You.
Sentinel.
Sino.
I'm like, who the hell is Zeno?
I said Sino,
You.
but I was trying to be quiet. It was not working.
I definitely think they know more about this than we do.
Let's jump him.
So, bum what rush?
Yeah, let's get him. Yeah, let's get him.
Hey Dova.
Yeah?
Can I do a Nope, never mind. That wasn't gonna work. Never mind, disregard that. I was gonna say, can I ready an action, but I was looking at what I was gonna do, and it's like, no, that's not gonna work. So, so Zer's gonna get up. Can he peer around the corner and use his eye?
Absolutely, you can.
That's what he's gonna do.
I just got visions of, what was it, Monsters? The old cartoon? Where they would pop the eye out and hold it around a corner to look.
It would still be in your head, sir. Just
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
make
Oh
sure.
yeah,
Look,
real
he can't do
monsters.
Yeah.
That's what he was gonna do. Was just gonna kind of peek around.
So, as you kind of holding your snout down, so just like the top of your head pokes out, you look out with your eye, and it's almost hesitating to zoom in, but you kind of push it past that little barrier, and it starts to zoom in a little bit. There's still very little light, but at this point, let's say that sort of very dim light is to your south. And you're looking northwards and looking down this very, very long hallway. Somewhere in the distance, maybe 120 feet, 130 feet-ish, you can see something move across the hallway from left to right. The dim light from the back kind of glistening off of it. Your heightened senses allowing you to see just that. But from what you saw, it was vaguely humanoid sized, though you can't really vouch for the shape.
I'd relay that.
All right.
Huh.
Its movement was also rather slow.
could be some form of undead.
Oh no, we're not
It's a
dead.
trap!
Does it have meat?
More meat than our floor buddy.
Eh. So get it?
Hey Dove, is there any rooms around us?
There are. There's one in this small kind of hallway that you're in. It has a blue paint on it. Also in the hallways around you, towards the left, you can see one with a color scheme that was kind of similar to the person who you stole some stuff from, the skeleton.
Mhm.
And on the right, there's some with a yellowish orangish paint on it.
Zerf's gonna quietly head over to the room that had the same symbol as the guy that we took stuff off of,
All right.
and then try to open the door.
All right. As you press down randomly on one of the buttons, instead of getting nothing like you did last time, there is a extremely dim red flash of red light from the bottom of the door as it refuses to open.
Your thing shot lightning. Make it do that again.
He's gonna pull out the small magic box and hold it up to it.
All right. By the way, who has the small card, by the way?
Zerth.
Zerf does.
Oh, he does? Okay.
Mhm.
In that case, rewind. There's instead of being red, the dim flash of light is green, as there's a light chunk. The door slowly begins to push itself open, but doesn't seem to have enough strength to, and kind of falters midway.
I'm gonna push it the rest of the way open and motion for them to come into the room.
It's pretty easy to open it the rest of the way. Did you guys go in?
Yes.
All right. Sinnoh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then Zerf will shut the door behind him.
Okay. Sinnoh will be hanging back a little bit, just keeping an eye out while the others investigate mostly.
Okay.
Somebody's got to stay alert, you know?
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I've got to, like, retighten all the friggin' nuts and bolts in my chair. Ugh, it's gonna
I
be fun.
mean, you could have my chair. One of the arms is broken off. It leans horribly to the side. I literally have it held up by those pipe clamps or hose clamps. I've got like 5 of them going across the entire bar at the bottom, so I can't adjust it anymore. And well, I move it all. But I don't have money for a chair,
goodness. So, I just want you guys to know that apparently wasabi can get you just from being close to it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Wasabi is fantastic.
it's good, but my God, does it hurt sometimes.
I love wasabi peas.
Oh.
I literally just take a whole handful and shove it all in my mouth at one time. And people
Well, they're
look
great
at me
on
and
the
they're
tongue,
like,
but you know, not as fun in the eye, which is just what happened.
oh, yeah, that would
Ugh.
not, that would be, yeah. That would hurt.
Oh, hey, I'm alive. So, you guys start to make your way through the door. The door is still wide open at this point. But looking inside, there's a small... it doesn't seem like a lobby or anything, but it's a small kind of a open room with a few tables on either side. There's those same kind of cases laying around, but they're
Another
all kind of
loyal devotee.
they're already laying open. The contents are just strewn around. Um, those small kind of disposed of bits of clear wax paper kind of thrown all over the place. It's a true and proper mess for as far as you can see in here. It's still blindingly dark.
Is there a way to tell how old these
Magnanimous
things are by the
dispensation.
glare of dust?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Because things are not really adding up to him.
And Ollie, thank you so much for that $15 donation.
Wow.
Woo!
10-foot pole simulator. That's more our Friday group, but yes. And I guess that means that our live studio audience is now paid, so, you know.
Wow.
How about
They,
that?
they can go home. We've kept them here for weeks.
No food,
Months.
no water.
No, they don't deserve it.
No, we gave them water, but no food.
This is
Fun.
their lunch. They're all interns.
Fun fact, the sounds that you
Intern
hear on
audio.
laugh tracks are actually dead people.
Hey,
How about
because
that?
they're recorded so long ago.
They're all dead. And
Morbid
they just
thought.
recycle it.
That's your morbid thought for the day?
It's one of my more mild ones.
Why am I eating wasabi?
Stop. Your DM.
It's sushi. It's laying around for when I finish the sushi. Anyways, taking a guess by how things have deteriorated and how much dust is covering everything, and the rust that's kind of accumulating on the floors and the walls, ceiling. You guess that this stuff has probably been laying around undisturbed for perhaps 50, 60 years.
Huh.
Surf's gonna straighten up and go, yep, definitely undead.
Or robots. Boy, probably undead.
Warforged, you mean?
Warforged, yes. That word.
There
That's
you
the
go.
one.
Yes, but that sounded more meaty, not metally. Oh, ooh, but Dusty. What about a Warforged undead?
You can do that?
He's not. He's just gonna grin extra wide.
Ooh. I mean, I guess if people just have too much time on their hands, you could technically do it, maybe. I don't know. I'm not the expert.
Zerth's gonna look around, for any. You said there was more of that same stuff we found in those boxes.
Yeah, the same stuff that that Dusty found. The same sort of supplies, those empty or the glass bottles, except
With
they've just
the
been
red and blue?
strewn over the place. Yeah, they're all empty. They're all either used up, kind of crumpled up. They're soiled with a rusty material, which honestly is probably blood. And looking closer, you can see that there's drips and smears of the blood almost all over the place in this room.
You know, at first I thought this might be a place to do shopping, but I don't think so anymore.
It didn't work out well for the original residents.
Prices weren't the only thing they cut today. Jeez. Dusty.
Zerth can't stop. That's canon. He's chuckling now.
No, Dusty absolutely said that.
Zerth relieves that. Is there any more bodies in here?
No. But there is these skeletal remains of the lower half of a leg, kind of strewn around in what next to what looks like an open crate, with another one of those panels on it.
I'm gonna look at the crate.
You look down in the crate, and there is complete blackness. seems like it goes down past the floor a little bit. And it's rather well cemented in place, so that kind of supports that theory.
I'm gonna stick my head in it.
All right. You place your head down in it. You can start to smell dust, a little bit of decay, and a very slight scent of solvent, kind of alchemical chemicals.
Does it look like it just keeps going?
Yeah. You're not sure how far down. You can't really tell.
Mm. Hey guys, do we want to go down the chute of doom? Do we want to wait for our visitor? Or do we want to find a way to hell out of this place?
Dusty picks up an empty vial and drops it down the chute of doom.
All right. You
Let's
drop
check
it down,
the
and it lands. You think maybe 5 feet past the floor. As you
Okay,
hear
it's not
it
that far.
crash and shatter.
It's not that far. But I will go down first. And he
Sure.
goes down.
There's the room you're in is open. It's not like it's just that area. There's parts in the darkness that you could keep going and kind of explore.
Oh, I thought it was like a
If
single
that's the
room.
issue. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the single room. There's a hallway that continues on, and there's a few kind of corridors as well, as well as doors on either side, and what looks to be further down a large glass window built into one of those.
Zer's gonna go over to the glass window.
All right, you slowly make your way through the corridor and looking in the glass window, and you see. Give me a wisdom saving throw with advantage. All right. You're quite versed with gore and the results of battle, unfortunately. Thus, you're able to keep your cool when you see the scene that's laid out in front of you. Inside is a sleek and refined, what looks to be perhaps an operating theater, except almost cocooned inside in a web of fibrous gore is what looks to be a mismatched human skeleton. Almost as if all the flesh on their bones had and all the muscle fibers have kind of unwound and clutched to the side of the walls and the windows. There's the organs are kind of just spilling out on the floor. Well, although what's kind of strange is that it's been here this long and it hasn't decayed. Although even right now it looks almost fresh. You can almost see it glisten in the very faint sort of ambient light.
Dusty gets closer. Sir, I was away for 10 seconds.
Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
I sneezed.
Dang.
All right.
Listen, Dusty's used
Zerth has told
doing.
you a lot of pretty brutal stories.
Well, yeah, Dusty's also been there for the kills. And he is also the corpse butcher afterwards. Need I remind you?
No, you just chop off a piece of it and then give the rest to Zerth.
Oh, no. See.
You have a hand sandwich.
No, you see, back when it was just the two of us, I had to find some way to entertain myself, and Zerth left a lot of bodies, so... Well, I practiced, And let's say the first practice wasn't very clean, because I thought I could cut through bones with the wrong saw, and turns out that tears a lot of things.
So you'd be a very good surgeon then.
At this point, probably.
You're not doing it with me.
I mean, if you don't have any options, and we don't have level 7 healing spells.
We need
So what are you
feedback.
guys doing?
Zerth's gonna motion for Suno to come over.
Hey, check out his buddy. Check out his buddy. It wasn't us. It wasn't.
Sinnoh?
Yeah, he'll go and I guess check it out. I
Alright,
suppose.
go
I
ahead and give
can
me
do
a
that.
wisdom saving throw.
Ugh.
All right, all of you managed to keep your cool when viewing the rather gory remains.
Sinnoh's gonna take a look and basically be like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna stand over. I'm gonna stand over here and just keep an eye out. And yeah, bye."
Alright.
Was an old saying that was taught to me: better out than in. Not so much for this guy.
Dusty's looking. Dusty's starting to inch closer.
All right. It is still behind glass, though you can see inside there is a door just around the corner that you can probably enter through if you wanted.
Hey, do you think I could play with that a little bit? Do you think I could...
You can also at this point see that whatever caused this or the sort of event that happened caused the glass to be rather fractured and spiderwebbed. Yeah.
Ooh. Dusty's going to tap the glass to test its strength.
All right. You tap it and it feels rather strong just from these taps. Feels intact.
I've never felt glass this powerful. I've never.
So
I don't
what are
think
we-
I can stunt roll through it. I don't think. I don't think I can stunt.
you just have to believe in yourself.
Hoi! He will shoulder tackle this glass.
Go ahead and give me a strength check.
I
You said to believe in himself.
hold on. Oh nope, Zerth's just gonna let this happen. He
Zerth
learns-
and Sinnoh, go ahead and give me your perception checks.
Zerth's a very oh, you learn by life. You learn more from failure than you do success.
Sinnoh's gonna cheer on Dusty. He doesn't know what Dusty's actually doing, but he knows that Zerth doesn't like it, so he's cheering on Dusty.
You are so mean.
Oh, we're gonna have some words back at the tavern.
Due to you.
He's trying to be
Sinnoh.
the fun uncle.
Yes, you are.
Sinnoh,
Yes.
as he
Yes,
takes a
on
running
these
start and
Present
as he takes a
authority
running start and
figure.
kind of leaps up, you kind of glance up towards the corpse for a moment, as a brief bit of motion has kind of caught your eye, and you see that its eyes have turned to and swiveled to face directly towards Dusty, and just as he's about to hit the glass, there's a rippling contraction of all those fibrous muscles, and the glass shatters.
Dusty, get back. This
shit.
thing is moving.
Nope. The glass shatters inwards. Dusty, you continue onwards, expecting to hit it, but you don't, as some of these other fibrous tendrils instantly wrap around you, trapping you inside of its kind of bony rib cage, along with these shards of bone and broken glass.
Oh,
Everybody
no.
roll initiative, please.
How far up is
How's it
this?
It is about 15 feet into the room.
Oh, it's in the
Zerth's
middle
gonna
of the room.
yell at
Yeah.
Sinnoh. Well, how's it feel about being the fun freaking uncle?
I'm okay with it.
Dusty is mildly
Oh, wait a
perturbed by
minute.
this.
Wait a minute. We're still in initiative from. Oh well, we'll just re-roll next week
What?
because it still has the
initiative
battle
from last
tracker,
week.
the combat tracker from next week.
No, nobody's got any. What?
I think last week we ended
used
on because we had that fight.
Oh, the enemies do. Never mind.
Okay.
I can fix that real easy.
Well, yeah, the enemies are automatically rolled when they're added, so you
Yeah.
don't have to.
So yeah, go ahead and roll initiative, Dusty.
Okay.
Zerth, you would be at full health.
Awesome. Just the
What an
mental image
interesting
of what just
encounter.
happened. No, Dusty! Undead tentacles, I'm assuming, crashes through Zerth yelling, "Oh, way to be the fun uncle!"
Well, the tendrils were actually latched onto the glass, like they were kind of stuck to everywhere else in the room.
Mm-hmm.
They just pulled inwards with such force that the glass just collapsed.
I'm having a
Very interesting.
Resident Evil 2 kind of
Oh, yeah.
flashback.
Go ahead
yeah,
and give
I've been
me
thinking
a.
about that. Except I started thinking more Silent Hill.
Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw, Dusty.
Okay.
All right. Let me see. All right, you are blinded, restrained, and unable to breathe. You
Oh.
do not take any damage, though.
Oh, yay.
All right. It's going to lash out with these with what looks to be a large chunk of metal and some piece of medical equipment, as it's just going to lash out with two of those tendrils at you two in the hallway. For all technicalities, you guys are like 5 feet from it. It's taking up like a 3x3 space. Squares on a combat map wise, and you guys are adjacent to it. One at Zerth, one at Sinnoh. All right, that is going to be a hit. Sinnoh. That's going to be 8 points of bludgeoning damage. As one of the pieces of medical equipment, it looks like some sort of tube with bits of almost like metal needles on the end, smacks you with the blunt end. The ground kind of shudders near you as it creaks and sound of almost like it's about to shear as it starts to pull inwards even stronger, anchoring itself in place, preparing to attack further. Zerth.
All right. Ooh, what does Zerth want to do? Zerth is gonna cast Shatter directed on the body.
All right.
Why are you not? All right, it's being slow. It's gotta make a Constitution saving throw.
All right. Oops. There you go. It does not make it.
Takes full damage.
All right, 10 points of thunder damage. As a thunderous kaboom rings out, the vibrations just. Wait a minute.
Dova,
Does
you
that say
should share
one
the full-
creature, or does it say a radius?
It's a
Radius.
10-foot radius.
Dusty, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
You should share the image for the stream.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Sure. This, but made of flesh.
Ouch.
That'll do it, right?
Oh,
That is.
it's adorable.
I mean, would it be when there's a blood-stained skull resting right where the face would be with just the eyes in? No eyelids?
Extra adorable.
Alright.
Ew, 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 ew. I'm supposed
Alright,
to cut
that does
you
not
up.
make the save. We'll just go with the same damage roll. So 10 points of thunder damage, Dusty.
Ow, fuck.
Eisen, he said that it's this, but made of flesh.
As my bonus action, I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on me.
Okay. Again, it's hard to pull on the divine magics, but you're able to pull enough to cast the spell.
Oh, wait. Do you want me to roll that D20 because of the ring?
What do you mean?
The misspell ring?
No.
No.
It doesn't seem that its magic is strong enough to affect it here.
Okay. I keep forgetting about that.
Alright. At the end of your turn?
Yep.
Alright. So, go ahead and you can try to break out of this. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics or athletics check.
Probably acrobatics. But I would say he could probably just like try to start cutting his way out. He has daggers.
You're currently restrained. Your arms are kind of held to your sides, and it's almost trying to pull them off at the moment.
Ew, ow, ow.
You doing a very complicated set of maneuvers. You push your arms out at the same exact time, then pull them rapidly inwards. And in a bid for freedom, you manage to wriggle your way out, but you're basically right next to it, and I'd say that would have been your action.
Ha! Catch me now! Oh god, it's gonna do that. Okay.
What's the soda gonna do?
Sinnoh will let out a whistle and direct him over to the creature. Like the
Alright.
base of the body itself.
Okay, you'd have to kind of climb through this broken half window. At about right about at halfway up your leg, it's just the metal wall, but above that is this glass window that's now completely broken. And he can
Okay.
kind of jump in to the rather cluttered insides. The core of it is surrounded by these metal flesh tendrils that make all the movement around it quite difficult.
Alright, in that case, he'll just bite at whatever's available.
All right, he'll start tearing at the tendrils. Go ahead and roll to attack. That will miss. As DeSoto tries to kind of reach up in there, He has to kind of back away as one of the flailing tendrils nearly hits him with one of those empty bottles. All right.
Okay.
Sinnoh.
Going to cast Zephyr Strike.
All right.
And charge in there wherever Dusty is to try and free him.
All right. Dusty manages to wiggle his way out.
Yeah,
as you,
I'm already free, but now I'm next to the main body directly.
Yep.
Okay,
he's
then I'll
he's
attack
still
the main
kind of
body.
in the mess of tendrils.
I'm going in there to help him.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll to attack then.
All right.
All right, that'll hit. That will also hit.
Here's this one. Actually, I think I technically had advantage on that. Yeah, it was advantage on it, so, but oh well, it hit it. And his other attack. Boom. Ugh.
All right. As you slash into these tendrils, you notice that you guys are not doing very much in a short period of time. Though you are definitely hurting it and kind of cutting away at it, trimming it like like an unruly shrub. There's still a lot of volume to it, as it is now its turn. Why is it? There you go. It is going to attack. It's going to attack you twice, Sinnoh.
Bring it on.
All right, those are 2 hits.
Let's do this!
That is 13 damage for the first,
Oh dear.
Oh.
and that is 14 damage for the second. And you are now grappled and restrained as you are now engulfed.
Oh
Ow.
dear.
Oh, it can just do its engulf right away. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw. Oh no. All right, you take 13 more points of bludgeoning damage as these tendrils wrap around you and with crushing strength just press you into its bone shard and glass shard filled body. As in a last moment of fright, you kind of cry out in pain. Everything around you just piercing your body as you just kind of pass out.
Whoa. Oh wow, that was fast. Bye. Oh.
Okay, just to clear, did that thing just eat him?
Seems so.
Sort of.
You can't see him anymore, but there is this kind of there is a lump beneath its mottled and flayed skin.
Okay, Zerf's gonna yell out, "Hey, big, dumb, and fleshy, let the Martin go." And he's gonna cast Toll the Dead.
All right, that's a wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
There you are. All right, it fails. spectacularly.
Awesome. And it's been hit again. And then, is it within melee striking distance?
Yes.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to smack it.
To suck eggs.
All right. That'll hit. You can attack as your bonus action?
Yep, up to my wisdom mod.
Oh, okay. All right. You notice
There
that
was an influence.
your holy damage did quite a bit to it. As a few of those tendrils actually kind of wither and pull away, the actual strands getting so brittle that they just kind of snap midair. All right. Next up is Dusty.
Yeah, me. Oh no, Siddle. Well, I can't reach him probably. So, I guess I'm just gonna do my best. And stab it with a spear. Hopefully not where Siddle is.
All right. Go ahead and roll to attack. All right, that will hit. Very nice.
And now, I'm going to spend a key point to do Flurry of Blows.
All right.
Oh wait, I didn't roll the damage on it. Could you?
Oh yeah. Didn't roll damage on Flurry of Blows, or?
No, I didn't roll the damage on the Webbing Gnasher.
Ah, gotcha.
Ah! There's a crit.
Very nice.
And that second attack. Alright, and now I roll damage twice on it. Wait, crit card, please.
Yep.
Alright, for bludgeoning, you are gut punch, double damage. So just double the damage dice.
All right.
Okay.
Dova, I sent you influence.
I did.
Wow.
I saw it.
2 forces.
Nice.
And
13
now
more
for
damage.
my second attack. That also connected. Wow.
All right. Thank you.
I'm fucking this thing up. I am the corpse
You
butcher,
are
and I'll
messing
show
it up.
you why.
As you basically start pulling off these tendrils from the wall, snapping them off, just pulling them away. Yeah. And as you're doing so, one of the tendrils kind of whips to the side, and one of these pieces of medical equipment is just kind of haphazardly grabbed, and it throws at you, but you dodge out of the way as it kind of clacks to the ground outside. And right in front of you, Tozerth, it's a what looks to be a rather large hand axe, except where the blade would be, there is a serrated disc. And as it hits the floor, there's the sudden sound of a whirring noise as the blade starts to spin rather rapidly.
You just got a chainsaw. Holy
Oh,
God.
they're totally gonna pick that up.
All right, you pick up the bone saw.
Yep.
All right, Sota, what's he gonna do?
D'Souta will, well, keep
Probably try
gnashing
and
at
get
everything.
you.
All right,
Well, he can't really make it to me. So he would definitely be worried about that, but he's gonna be gnashing more specifically in a direction to try and get to me.
that will miss.
There are There's so much to this thing to bite. How could you miss?
He's busy dodging.
He's trying to stay out of the way of these bits of glass, shards of metal that are very, very sharp. And he's trying to get close. He really is. But he just keeps getting pushed back by these debris.
Well, don't worry. Either Zeus and I will probably get you out next round. Apparently, my corpse carving knowledge is.
I think we both tried to advance it at the same time.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a death saving throw.
Yay!
Success. All right. For some reason, I have to go all the way down here.
Well,
Now
yeah, because you've got a whole bunch of other people in here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You can't really do a save since you're unconscious. So this is technically a crit, but it's a save. I'll just say it's going to be. See how much damage it rolls. Oh, that's 2 8s. So that will be 2 death saving fails.
Oh dear.
As you are, well, you're unconscious, but the rest of you can hear this sort of crunching, grinding noise as he is almost blended within the kind of disassembled rib cage that keeps poking in and out, stabbing inwards with these jagged, broken ribs.
Hey, don't eat while we're killing you. That's so rude.
Tabor manners.
All right. Can it? Can make one. It's going to lash out with one of those, one of the tentacles towards you, Dusty.
That's fair.
18 to hit.
I believe that is my AC.
All right, that hits. You take 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
A truly
Dick.
remarkable amount.
Oh. Come on, Zerth hit me for harder.
Zerth.
He's bellowing because he's mad. He's going to do Toll the Dead again, seeing as that was super effective.
All right. It's a wisdom save on its part.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
Wisdom
holy magic's on undead.
save. What's the DC?
13.
Yeah, it failed.
It failed or succeeded.
Failed.
Okay, so damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna take this bone saw and smack it.
All right. It kind of wobbles strangely in your hand from the gyroscopic force of the disc spinning at high speeds. But as you slash downwards, it cuts through it like butter. Go ahead and roll the hit. Actually, I probably should have had you roll the hit first.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll as if it was a hand axe.
What's that? I think that's the same as my Warhammer, so we'll just do that.
Yeah, it would basically be a weapon. Yeah, you hit. Go ahead and I'll roll damage because I know how much it does.
Okay.
Ooh.
I do want to kill it.
I want to
Charge forward and keep charging through
I
its
want
main
to
body.
charge forward and then possibly jump off at it. And just kind of ride it downwards.
All right. As you charge upwards, kind of latching onto it with your with your legs, your claws on them, you swing downwards, almost like a scythe. It cuts through it like a hot knife through butter, as it lets out a strange screeching wail, sort of similar to the one you heard before, but definitely different, as bits of this coagulated blood and other sorts of kind of yellowish fluids spew throughout the room as you basically carve it with this rapidly rotating blade. It is dead. And as it slowly starts to deflate, Sinnoh, your body kind of just slowly kind of sloughs out of it. Its hold on you kind of relaxed as you slip out through a small kind of orifice inside. Go ahead and give me one last death saving throw.
Actually, Dusty was kind of like waiting for him to find, because he's got a thing to do for Sinnoh.
All right.
He's going to find him, take out a stuffed saber-toothed tiger, and shove it in his mouth and push his jaw down.
I would like that death saving throw first, please.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Oof.
That's
Just barely.
all right, but you would like to do that?
Yes.
All right. As you force his
Since
jaws
my turn
down.
was before Sinnoh's.
Yeah, go ahead and roll healing for that.
Alright, what is it? 2D...
It's 2d4 plus 2.
Okay. Be healed for 6.
All right, Sinnoh, you are now up with 6 HP. Everything hurts.
What
Hi.
the
There's numerous puncture wounds. You think one of your arms might be sprained, and your fur is just in terrible shape. As DeSoto kind of excitedly comes up and starts licking your face.
He's just gonna lay there dazed for a moment.
Dusty's gonna start dragging him away from the corpse of the Gnasher to the other side of what was formerly a glass wall.
Zerth's near him, but on guard right now, just in case.
I don't know what happened to you. It was so fast.
I don't either.
It's like it hated you or something. But you didn't even like do anything. That bad? Here, I think you need this more than me. And he's going to take out his tin of cotton candy, grab all of it, and shove it in Sinnoh's mouth.
Great!
All right.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I think sweet things are good when you need energy.
I as a medical professional agree to that.
And Ollie, what are you wanting to do with this?
Confusing influence?
He redeemed a major influence and put nothing in it.
My influence is all knowing. In the meantime, Zerth's gonna help Sinnoh up to his feet.
All right.
Well, you should probably like ask them, but I don't see them in the chat.
I am messaging.
Okay. Dusty is going to start. Is going to cautiously enter that room again, now that he's gotten Sin away from it, and start looking around.
All right.
He's never taken apart an undead before. Not one quite this big and fleshy. Not
Go
that now's the time
ahead.
to play with it, but he wants to.
As you start getting closer to it and start kind of working with it and just getting your hands dirty, you start to feel a slight itching sensation in your hands.
He's got gloves.
Almost like touching, yeah, still,
Oh.
almost like touching poison ivy.
Ugh. He's going to pull back.
All right. Itching on your hand persists for a little while. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
All right. In a few minutes, the itching will slowly kind of fade away.
Oh. Zerth, I forgot to ask, but should I be cutting up undead?
It's best not to. There's nothing of
Oh.
value in them anyway.
I mean, this one was meaty, so maybe it has different looking organs.
That could be possible. I don't think it's worth the headache.
Okay.
Because you'll have to dissect it all, and we still don't know what was following us, and...
Well, then Dusty's going to stop reaching inside it, sort of wipe off his gloves on its outermost layers, put
Alright.
things back, and then start looking around the room for all this different medical stuff it was throwing around.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
There's probably no potions that he knows of, but that saw he got was really cool.
And Zerth, it is still spinning. It is kind of clattering. It's making a racket.
Don't teach my hamster.
Is
to
there,
suck eggs.
like, it's not, bleh. There's no quarter attached, it's just automatically on.
It's just going.
Is there
Dang,
any
that's
button or
not
anything?
very good roll
yeah.
at all.
Kind of near your thumb.
I'm gonna press the button.
All right. You click it, and it kind of pushes back upwards, and the saw slowly spins down.
He grins extra wide.
Dova,
this
I
could be
sent
fun.
you what Denali wants to do with his influence.
And
Okay.
what was that other influence then?
The moderate one was I asked Eisen to redo it because basically I still hadn't accepted his chainsaw one, and I saw the I of the name, and I was like, oh, Eisen decided to upgrade his. And then after I hit refund, I realized, oh wait, that's not Eisen, that's an Ollie. So, yeah, I had to have him redo it to get it actually there. But anyways, Dova.
So,
I was very worried when he first said that, because I'm like, oh god. But I'm okay with that effect. Accept or decline?
Accept.
Alright.
But it won't last outside of this one shot.
Okay. That's fine.
We might want to, for the major, that's usually for something that would last out for multiple sessions, but we could definitely downgrade it outside of this.
Yeah.
To something lesser, but, you know.
I don't know. For this one, I would say if you would want something like that, then pretty much everything is going to be just within this one shot.
Alright, I'll go ahead and refund him coins to get it down to a moderate then.
Alright.
Oh, well, I'll still refund the coins and Ollie, but he says that'll work.
Okay. So, what are you doing now?
Can I do a medicine check on Sino, just to patch him up a little bit?
Sure. Do you have any sort of medical supplies that you're going to use?
Just stuff that I can find around the lab.
All right. Looking around, you find some. You actually managed to find a roll of gauze. And you can use that to patch up some of the puncture wounds, and kind of make sure he's not bleeding all over the place. But go ahead and give me a medicine check. Dusty, inside the surgical room, you find what looks to be a scalpel and a pair of kind of retractors. But no more fancy stuff like that saw. You did see something kind of fancy looking, but you think that's either somewhere underneath of it, or it just got smashed against the wall.
Ah. Well, nothing to do for it. He's now going to start, like, taking away, or start tearing off the extra tendrils that were on the floor and tossing them against the main body. Just,
Alright.
like, clean up a little bit.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe he'll find something, but mostly he's just trying to move it.
Sinnoh, go ahead and take away one of your death saving fails. As Zerth, you managed to patch up quite a bit of the damage and actually managed to fashion a makeshift splint for his right arm. It's at about this point that there is a faint, almost like a rumble through the floor and through the walls. And a few moments later, a sound kind of echoes through the hall. It sounds almost like a boom, or an explosion of some sort.
Yeah, that thing screamed pretty loud, didn't it?
This day gets better and better.
I don't think I'm gonna find anything good, but this scalpel is really good. I'm gonna add it to my kit.
I certainly don't find this very good day.
Oh, come on, look on the bright side. At least you weren't that thing. I don't have much right now. My tank is dry. He takes a puff of his cigar. Extra dry. He's gonna walk toward the door.
All right. You're now at the door. The door leading back out into the hallway.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, are we going?
It's best not to stay. Sound
Okay.
attracts.
Dusty is going to take out his tinderbox and set this thing ablaze.
All right, you do so. And it starts to actually burn rather easily. There's a few pops and kind of shrieking noises as it starts to burn, but it's clearly not, shrieking itself, obviously.
He is then going to follow the others to the door.
All right.
Always take care of your undead corpses. That's how they became undead.
Very proud of your son.
So which way are you going to go? You going to go towards the... Because you know where that sort of dim light was, along with that kind of squeaking wheel. And you also know where you came from, roughly. You could probably go that way as well.
Towards the danger or away from the danger?
We should probably find, like, some safer place for Sinel to sit down for a little longer.
Wonder if there's a closet we can stuff him in.
Well, I mean, so we can stay with him. You don't leave injured people alone.
Thanks.
I didn't say we were leaving.
No, you
Really
just want to
just-
stuff me in a closet.
Well, yeah, you fit perfect with the fur coats.
I'm not a fur coat.
Oh. That's how you want to play it.
Mm. I blame you for everything right now.
Why?
He gives him the eye.
Oh, well, thank you for your magical eye, but I kind of already have both of mine. I don't have any way to use this.
Ugh.
Dusty's
He's gonna go
going
ahead
to
and
take
pocket
out-
the eye, though.
not.
By the way, do any of you have? I remember one of you guys points in the direction of the nearest alcoholic beverage.
That would be me.
All right, what's the range on that?
Well, I don't remember if we ever specified in range.
Okay. As you guys are stepping back out into the hallway, you notice that it is slightly pulling over towards the direction of that the sound of the very quiet squeaking wheel.
There's booze over there.
Well, I mean, I guess you'd want some now, considering. I'll go see if it's a refreshment cart. And he marches ahead.
Oh, great.
All
I
right.
bet they won't have train snacks.
I mean, if you want a
So-
train snack, there's a body right over there.
Mm.
It's on fire. It doesn't work.
Oh, it's just grilled.
No, I'll just use you. You're already been mashed up and tenderized.
Oi, I am not food.
Well, that food will give up willingly.
Zerth just kind of shrugs, but licks his lips as he walks towards Dusty.
Dusty,
Yes.
as you continue onwards, you go around
He's
45
following
feet
the
down
line.
this hallway. And wait, who's leading the way?
I am.
Okay. And you come to a turn. And you can see where the light was coming from now, as it's a small, almost like an alcove, kind of like a lounge.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a window. And as you look out you're confused for a moment. It looks like it's nighttime, but as you get closer to the window, you keep looking down and down. You can't see the ground. Perhaps you're in a very tall tower, but no, there's no ground.
He then looks up.
There's no ceiling. It's all stars, the night sky. A brilliant swirling nebula off in the distance, off in the vast, vast distance.
Oh. We're in dead space.
Oh, great. Much worse than Resident Evil.
Dusty's confused.
Sitting on a bench, kind of near the wall, looking towards this window, is a bleached skeleton. And next to him is a looks like a painted wooden kind of sectioned off crate. And doing a quick count, it looks like there's 10 brown glass bottles, kind of in the crate, one in each section. There's two empty bottles kind of on the ground next to the skeleton, as well as the bottle caps.
Is this poison? Or is it the booze? Poison booze?
It says that's probably the booze, Sinnoh. That's what your amulet says. I believe it's an amulet.
I thought it was
I think
just
it was
a
a hat.
built. I thought it was just an innate sense. Decided.
Oh.
I
Yes,
have
your
no
innate
idea.
sense
Some
would tell
magic
you
on
that
it.
it is those bottles.
Dusty is going to pick one up and bring it over to Sinnoh and then look at Zerth and say, "Isn't alcohol good for wounds?"
Yes, yes, it is, but it does burn.
Oh, I don't want to burn him.
Just pour the whole bottle. He'll be fine. It's a disinfectant.
But he wants to drink
Oh
it,
wait,
I
no,
think.
no, it's the mug. When filled with water and a drinking chant is sung nearby, it immediately becomes a powerful dwarven ale. When drunk, they are poisoned for 1d4 rounds and can speak dwarven. And it's actually they know the way to the nearest bar.
Mm-hmm. Ah. Oh well.
Either way, we're here now.
Yep.
Yeah, I would have followed the squeaking wheel regardless.
I'll sniff at it.
All right. The bottle's closed right now. It's sealed up.
Well,
Let's
I mean,
open
I'd
it.
open it and sniff.
Give me an intelligence check. You don't see a cork. You don't have. Well, first, you don't have a bottle opener, or you don't have like a corkscrew, anyways. And it seems to just be a small kind of metal circular tab just on the top of this bottle, and you can't figure out how to get it off. It's stuck on there good.
Let me do it. I can do it, probably. You just have to stab it a little from the top. I think. Maybe?
You said it doesn't seem to have a cork.
Does not seem to have a cork.
It's a beer can.
Oh, they're brown bottles.
Oh.
He's gonna look at it for a bit longer. Gonna study it.
Oh,
You gonna
it's got
study
one
it
of
for
those
a while?
metal caps on it. It's got one.
Yeah. I'm gonna study.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
Me or him?
Him.
Okay.
Gah!
Hey, listen,
Ken,
you
you're-
came back from death, basically.
You're having trouble figuring out how to open this thing.
I'm gonna groan in pain and just kind of hand it to Dusty.
Oh,
Dusty, go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
Instead, I'll pull out that wineskin of fire tea and sadly drink it.
All right. Makes you feel a little bit happy.
he's looking it over.
It's something to do with that metal cap, obviously, but it's stuck on there really good. You're trying with your claws and a little bit with your teeth, but it's on there good. At about this point, there is another shuddering sound. By the way, actually, before that happens, that sound with the squeaky wheel, kind of trying to locate it in this lounge area. You actually managed to find it. It is a sort of a bluish green light that's sort of alternating between blue and green. Kind of in tune with the sound. There's also a very dim, sort of red glowing light beneath it that just pulses on and off, not in tune with with the lights.
Hey, Zert, look at that thing.
Zerf will turn his head towards it.
What is it?
Unusual, like this entire place.
Yeah.
Zerf's gonna walk over to it and poke it with his warhammer.
All right, you poke it, and it doesn't seem to change the sound that it's making.
Is it like a cart?
No, it's just this panel on the wall.
Meanwhile, Dusty takes out his dagger and tries to like work it in one of those little wedges on that metal cap.
All right. At about this point, then, there's another, almost like a violent shuddering in the floor. And those of you who are kind of looking towards outside, you can see an expulsion of material. Fragments just come flying off somewhere to the right if you're looking out the window, kind of flying off into the abyss. You actually hear, kind of on the right side of the wall, a very light pitter-patter of something against the exterior. You also see down the hallway that you just came from a bloom of orange and red, as the concussive noise of an explosion reaches your ears. A very strange thing happens. For a brief moment, it feels like you're falling. Like this entire place is falling in free fall, and you kind of float up for a moment before it stops, and you're suddenly back on solid ground.
Dusty blinks and looks shocked and says, "It's a sky castle,
Well,
like the other one."
It's not. Well, that's not good if it's losing its pieces.
Oh yeah, that's super bad, actually. I guess we don't have time to rest. Sorry, Sinnoh. I think we have to stop the sky castle from exploding more.
Can I do a perception check?
Would you like to know?
I'm seeing if there's any type of indication of like arrows or something that I can associate from where I'm at to like an exit.
Um,
Like a big door.
There is one that is pointing. It's kind of bright red with these yellow stripes on it. That is kind of pointing towards the direction you came from, possibly towards that large archway. The direction of the fire and that explosion is in the direction of the one that's kind of orangish, the same color and design as the doors on the kind of on the left side, leading opposite towards that medical area. If that arch was north, you guys are on the south. The medical area is on the east, and then that orange and reddish area is on the west.
And that was the sound the explosion came from.
Yeah, from the west.
Dusty would also like to investigate this room now that he has failed to open the bottle.
All right. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay. He's looking for buttons, specifically. He wants to do something to change the lights.
All right. Pressing on the buttons a bit more, you can't really manage to change the lights and what they're doing. Though you do manage to turn them off, the sound still continues.
Oh well,
and you can kind of turn the lights back on. But you're kind of investigating this room.
Yes.
You do manage to find a small object resting on a table. It's made of a polished silver metal, and is a small kind of a tablet shape, almost similar to the shape of a platinum dragon. Kind of an elongated oval, a little bit, with more square edges than you'd expect. There's a hinge, kind of a 2/3 of the way up, and as you kind of experiment with it, you find that the hinge kind of opens up the lid of this object, and inside is a strange kind of perforated box, along with a a wheel that looks kind of similar to that saw that Zerth has.
Huh. He's
As
gonna.
you open it up, you can smell something that smells like solvents.
Zerth, what is this?
I'll go take a look.
It smells like solvents.
Solvents. Hmm.
So you'd like to take a look?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check. All right. Looking at it a bit closer, you realize that this wheel might be part of like a fire starter, like a sparking thing. And experimentally, you press down on it and kind of turn it, and it makes a very small spark that kind of just ekes out into this like perforated box section. And the small candle wick inside lights, giving you a little bit more light inside this rather dark room.
Oh. It's what do you call it?
A
lighter.
lantern. A lighter.
Tiny like little lantern. That's what it looks like. Out of character though, it's a lighter.
Neat. Alright, last thing to do in this room. He's gonna check the body for another card thingy. Or just check his coat, mostly. Skeleton can't hide a lot.
Kind of searching through his clothing, you do actually manage to find one. This one's a little bit different. It has, it actually does have like an orangish color on it. And it shows a kind of a grizzled-looking man in his 20s, maybe early 30s. And again, those same symbols everywhere that you really can't recognize.
I got one too. I don't know, but I have it now.
Mhm.
Maybe we should keep moving?
I think that's probably the best case.
Okay, which way? Towards the orange lights? This card has orange on it.
I would probably advise, since that's where the boom boom sounds came from. Nothing ever good happens from the boom boom sounds.
The other direction, then.
Sinnoh's been sitting, still fiddling with the bottle, and just generally resting while he can.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another intelligence check.
Alright.
Yeah, I tried to work it with a dagger, but apparently that was fruitless.
All right. You're starting to get a clue. You need leverage. That's what you need.
I'll pull out...
Hey, use the table.
I've got a battered silver fork. I'll pull that out and try using it.
All right. Go ahead and give me just a pure strength check. Oh, that's good. Just pushing with, or kind of pulling upwards with all your might. There's a, you think you're making progress, and there's a quiet hiss as a little bit of gas escapes. The bottle cap now falling to the ground with a kind of clank or a clink. It is now open, and kind of coming out of the neck of the bottle is a faint smell of pretty decent quality beer.
I'm gonna sniff at it and take a small sip.
Take a little sip.
Yeah.
And as soon as you do, it is rather heavily carbonated. You've had like fizzy beer before. It was pretty cool. But this stuff is very, very, very fizzy. It has a rather light, sort of subtle flavoring. And you can tell that it is not very heavy alcohol-wide. But also very relevant.
He's gonna make a small face. Not really thrilled with it. But booze is booze. He's gonna gather up that bottle cap, though. For some reason, he's just got this sense that it might be worth something to someone.
All right.
It just seems to have some kind of monetary value to it.
All right, you keep it. You're holding on to it.
And otherwise, he's gonna... How many total bottles of this beer is there?
9 unopened, and then 1 that you just opened.
I'll take all 9.
All right. You manage to scrounge it all up, and it's kind of hard to carry it all, but you kind of pack it away, and you're kind of clinking and rattling it whenever you're moving, but you've got it all.
I will actually, I consider grass and all. I'm gonna wrap them up into my bedroll so they don't clatter
Or break.
or break.
All right, you do so.
And otherwise, I'm just sitting there waiting for the others and trying to get as much of a break as much of a rest in as I can.
All right.
Xerus, can you carry him?
he smiles extra wide. He's like, "Yes, I can," and just hoists him up.
Oh, ow,
I'll
ow,
lead
ow.
the way.
Okay.
Always wanted to make coke.
All right, you're leading the way. Which way you heading?
As he was picking him up, I was gonna cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the healing. All right. So add 10 HP still.
Well, thanks for that, I guess.
No problem. As he goes forward.
All right. Which way are you going?
Down the hall in the opposite direction of those orange lights.
All right.
Yep.
Go ahead and give me a perception check, everybody.
Okay.
It is vision.
Okay.
Oof.
Dusty.
Yeah.
As you're looking back, just checking the progress of that the flickering orange light, you can see kind of down a hallway. It's very nicely lit up now. You can see through a through one of these doors that has kind of glass panes on the side.
Mm-hmm.
You can see a roughly 3-foot tall canister. It has glass sides, it has metal cap, and it has a glowing orange rod going straight through the metal.
Huh?
You can see that past it, it's currently attached or kind of inserted into some sort of different machine. You can see past it is another door with a glass sort of window in it with flames, with flickering flames kind of rising up towards the ceiling. And then past that, one more is just complete blackness with twinkling stars.
I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but I'm very interested. And he's going over to grab that handle thing.
The handle thing?
Yes. And see if he can lift it?
Oh, you mean the canister?
Yeah.
Alright, you would have to go through one airlock. Is everyone following him?
Sandal doesn't really
yes.
have a choice.
Alright. As you kind of follow what Zerth did earlier, you press on one of the buttons, and there's the slow chunk as the as the door opens, maybe a few inches before kind of stalling.
This didn't work. Dusty is then going to try and like squat down to the floor and see if he can squeeze under it.
It's kind of two halves that are opening horizontally.
Ah, okay. Then he is going to try and just squeeze through.
All right,
It's
and the
probably
act of
not gonna work.
squeezing through puts enough force on him to kind of help it open.
Ah.
It just doesn't seem strong enough to open on its own.
Okay. Then, upon realizing this, he's just gonna push it the rest of the way.
All right. You are now in this room with this strange bits of metal piping, this metal, almost like a crate with these wires, these tubing, this piping kind of connecting down into the floor, into the wall. And you see that same canister that was connected to the to that archway which you arrived here through.
What do you think this is for? He's going to nudge the canister.
It is rather firmly in place, but there's enough give to it to realize it might not be permanently affixed.
Ooh. He's then going to pick it up.
All right. And as you touched it, you felt a very distinct warmth that kind of made your hands tickle a little bit.
Hmm.
All right. As you kind of pull on it, not really giving way, but as you give a little bit more force, there's a kind of a hearty skunk as the latch holding it in place disengages. You now are holding this fire extinguisher-sized kind of glass container with a glowing rod of some sort of orangish material inside.
Man, Yark will go crazy if he sees this. I'm definitely bringing this back with me.
That could be quite interesting. And Zert's gonna pull out that little box again and start messing with it.
All right. As you're taking a little bit of time to examine it and kind of mess around with it, you hear a heavy thump on that door with the flames kind of sequestered behind it. You look over and you see a shambling, hideous monstrosity. It's at least two human skeletons sort of melded together. All four of its eyes staring at you. One of which is just hanging out of a socket on a thread, but it's still kind of swiveling to watch as it's kind of embedded itself down near the chest.
Dusty waves. Dusty waves.
Its clawed hand starts to, with a terrible kind of grinding and shearing noise, starts to force its way into the door.
Okay, we leave. Okay, we leave.
You taking
What
it
the hell
and
is
running?
going on over there?
Another monster. It's trying to get in here through the other door. Let's go. And so it walked through fire.
For a quiet, dead building, there's not a lot of dead things here.
Well, I mean, not move. It is actually getting in here.
All right, as you book it out of there.
Dusty will close the door behind him, or at least press the
Alright.
other button and hopes that closes the door.
The monstrosity finally gets its claws on the other side and starts prying the door open, and you guys are inundated with a blast of this super hot air, dry as hell, and it carries the smell of something toxic and corrosive with it. The door starts to slowly close in front of you. I'm guessing you press the button just frantically over and over.
Oh, yes.
Click, 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 click. Slam,
Yeah,
slam,
like-
slam.
Yeah, like when you're trying to make the elevator just go.
Yep. It's kind of creaking shut a little bit at a time. I mean,
Faster, you asshole
you
door! Faster.
you can hurry it along like it did when it's opening.
Yes.
All right.
At this point, he's done with the button and just grabs at the door.
With that, it has enough strength to close with the beast around 10 feet away. The canister is on your side of the door. It's just kind of leaning against the wall.
Yes.
But it seems like it's about to try to get through this door as well.
I don't like that air it brought with it, but it's probably from another room. I don't want to breathe it, so I don't want to fight it here. Let's close the door.
By the way,
pick up that canister and run.
Can everyone give me a Constitution saving throw?
I've been good with these so far. Come on.
Oh.
That makes sense.
All right.
All right.
How badly do I die this time?
It's not that bad. DeSoda and Sinnoh both take 9 points of poison damage. And you are now poisoned. The rest of you, so that'd be Dusty and Zerth, you would take 5 points of poison damage. You are not poisoned though.
You said how much? 5?
5.
Yeah.
Why did it do 9? Okay. We're in the elevator, right?
No.
We're in a hallway.
Yeah, you're just in the hallway outside of the section where you grabbed that the canister.
Okay.
Is there another direction, or are we going back the way we came?
You're basically where you started in that long hallway that leads to both the medical area, to the lounge, as well as to that archway.
Let's go to the archway
Yeah.
in double time.
Let's
And-
run.
Zerth would literally pick up DeSoda if it's not moving fast enough.
All right, he's kind of doubled over, in that terrible position that dogs kind of slump into when they're vomiting something up. He's kind of.
Dusty is the
you
one
just pick
carrying
him up.
the box.
All
Yeah.
right.
However,
Pick
he
him
will
up.
also hand Sinnoh one of the red vials that he got from that thin briefcase and said, I don't know what this is. It's probably good, so if you're feeling bad enough, take this.
Oh, I'm hurting right now.
Okay,
Mhm.
take it. Okay.
I'm gonna drink it. How badly
All right.
do I die from this?
Oh, can I pick up the die, please? Thank you.
Oh, great, I do die.
All right. You regain 17 HP
Oh,
as
Hot
your
damn.
insides feel like they're burning, and you nearly just double over. It's an incredibly spicy drink, but it's a good pain you can feel. Your body kind of involuntarily tries to force you to throw it back up, but you just, through power of will, keep it down as it does its work.
Does DeSoda or Sino still look poisoned?
Sinnoh would not be poisoned anymore. As you can see, some of these blackish orange veins evident in his eyes kind of fade back to their normal color. A little bit bloodshot, but not this kind of alarming shade of very
How about the-
dark, burnt brown.
How about the doggo?
Looking not too great. You can see black veins in its gums, as well as these burnt orange veins in its eyes.
As
Dusty will take out another red vial.
I'm hauling ass, I'm gonna cast Lesser Restoration on the soda.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Alright, that's probably better. These seem to be very powerful healing potions.
All right. Using your lesser restoration, you pull the poison from his body, and this orb of orangish liquid coalesces and falls to the ground behind you as you continue to run. Looking back briefly, you can see that it is now boiling in this relatively normal air.
Sentinel's cast
Ooh.
on himself. Get himself
All
a
right.
little bit more better off.
You have now made it back to the archway.
Dusty's going to take his cube and press it against that door that didn't open, or at least the panel.
Which one? Your card, you mean?
No. His metal cube or glass cube thing with rod in it. He's gonna find some
Oh.
place to try and put it.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check. Actually, it wouldn't be that hard because you did see it kind of get flung out when you initially arrived. You
Yep.
find an identical receptacle near the base of the archway, and guessing as how you took the other one out, you managed to kind of angle it up in there, and it slides in with a heavy chunk. And there's two kind of levers on the side, which, messing around with, you eventually find that they should probably strap across it and lock it in place.
Click, click.
Um,
Sorry, Ark, I'll get you another present. Sorry.
as soon as you do so, these lights and strange carvings around the edge of this archway glow with a greenish hue. There's a small pedestal with another one of those strange panels presenting itself towards the door, roughly 10 feet from the archway. And the lights on those are now glowing brightly. And the room around you seems to come to life as well. A very faint whooshing noise evident, whereas there was only silence before. And these bright lights from the ceiling kind of shine downwards as you all kind of shield your eyes in the sudden brightness.
No, I'm dazzled.
This
You hear
just-
another heavy shuddering outside as something else explodes.
Uh-oh.
What is it with this group and explosions?
What is going on?
Dusty's going to go over to the panel and try to find something to click on it now that it's on.
Give me an intelligence check.
What does this thing want from me?
You're pressing buttons. You're trying to figure out. There is a rather big button, so you do press that one. And as you do, the gateway starts to very slowly start rotating.
Oh.
From outside the open doorway into the hallway, you start to hear the next door being forced open, the one leading into the fiery area.
Jeez.
Hot cheese, Rick. Hot cheese.
Zert, do you think you could keep it closed? Like, forced closed?
I can try.
You're strong.
I'm gonna try to keep it closed.
All right. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Oh, that was so close to a 17.
Yep, I saw it. I know a very special kobold who would be awesome at these absurd rolls.
I bet
All right,
he
you
got
start to
30.
try and pull this thing shut, but with the reintroduction of energy into this room, the door actually seems to be resisting your efforts, trying to stay open.
Oh, maybe just press the button to make it close.
I'm gonna try to push it with my tail.
All right. As you're doing so, you see from around the corner, wreathed in flame and this black, greenish smoke, is the abomination. Seemingly none worse for wear. As the door slides shut, kind of locking in place with a heavy thunk, it starts to scream. Go ahead and give... Actually, everyone in the room, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh.
For
Alright,
the
so-
love of all that is freaking holy!
Dusty is the only one who passes this.
Not up here.
For the rest of you,
Dusty's great in horror situations.
you guys, the rest of you, are now frightened. You cannot willingly move closer to it, and you also have disadvantage while attacking it.
None shall see me.
Guys?
My battle cry
Zer's
may
gonna
be
go,
away.
oh, great, the landlady's here and I don't have a job for rent.
Alright.
Dusty's
The
unsettled, but he's still working on that computer. Maybe
It's
it needs
still-
more things.
It's still turning, but you start to hear this this kind of rumbling, this hum that starts to rise in pitch, and volume. And as you're looking towards the archway, you can see that very faint rippling, almost like looking upwards while underwater, is starting to reappear. Though it's very faint and it's almost like a ghostly right now.
What's that? Guys? Are we underwater?
I don't know where the
No, I
fuck
can
we are.
breathe. Maybe the water's up there.
So there's
We've gone
so-
from Dead Space to Rapture.
I think it was
It's not,
Resident.
it's not literally underwater, but it's that same rippling effect.
I wonder if that's bad.
It can't be any better than what this is. You said there's a door on the other side.
And the arch is slowly opening, so Dusty's going to take this moment, now that there's light in the room, to check this place out. Cause, I don't know, maybe there's suits, or armor, or something.
Alright. As you're looking at these walls, you actually see that there are some recesses and even doors built into it. Small cabinets and lockers.
Hey guys, let's check these things out.
Are they locked? Do they look like they have padlocks or something on them?
No, they open fairly easily.
Okay. Zerth would just kind of start opening lockers.
Alright. Inside, you find these strange suits of armor. They're made of fabric, but they also have a helm with a glass sort of faceplate. You also find these strange containers, almost like metal bottles, like a thermos. Except if you shake them, they are filled with liquid, but there's no easy way to get inside. It's covered with this strange kind of a metal nipple on the top. You also find... Actually, that's pretty much all you find in these wall-embedded lockers. And by this point, you do hear a creaking noise as the door is being forced open from the outside.
Oh dear. You think we got time to put these on? I don't know, but maybe they're magic.
I don't think I'll fit, and he points to himself.
It is designed for a human.
Ah. Hmm. Well, they're probably too big for me then.
I could fit.
Then fit.
So energetic on that answer.
As
I mean, I'd have
Dusty-
to stuff my tail in the leg, but you know.
As Dusty looks back to Tozers and says, I guess I'm gonna see how good I can face off against that thing then.
Well, since that bridge seems to be taking its sweet fucking time and he's glaring at the bridge, combat may be the only answer right now. As he pulls out his handy dandy magical bone saw.
Alright.
This worked well on the room before.
Dusty is going to look at his potions, or those potions he got. He's a little hurt. But he's a little hesitant seeing as how Sinel reacted so badly to it. But he's had worse, probably, and he swigs a red.
Alright.
Oh boy.
Go ahead and add 19 points of health.
Yeah.
And you were again doubled over, almost as if drinking an incredibly strong brew. Your throat burns, everything starts to burn. As you spit out, almost as if trying to get a little bit of the pain out of your mouth, but it just basically fades, almost like a horseradish or wasabi.
Oh. Okay, I'm ready for battle.
Mm-mm.
You look like you're ready for a nap.
God. It's dark. It's my wake time. It's my wake time.
All right. With a horrendous screeching and shearing noise, the door is forced open by these two colossal clawed hands made of various parts, various bones from the human body, vertebrae as knuckles, these almost femurs as two gargantuan fingers, pulling it open. And you
Dusty's
see,
gonna throw a fucking dart.
all right, as you
No,
see its
back
baleful
off!
gaze, as you see its baleful gaze stare inwards, its eyes almost glowing in the flame advancing behind it.
Haha,
Go
fool!
ahead
You scared everyone else, but not me.
Go ahead and roll to attack, and then everyone else roll initiative.
That makes sense.
Could I get some nice rolls, please?
Did you roll initiative, Dusty? And that hits.
Oh, not yet. There it is.
All right. Wow. Well, since you rolled on top, well, I guess we'll just consider that as your round
Oh,
or your turn.
Okay. Where is the monster so I can roll the damage on it?
All right. Give me a moment.
So much for my surprise round.
There we go.
Ah. Hmm. Well, here goes.
That'll hit, and that does damage. Wonderful. As it sticks in one of its joints, clearly causing it some discomfort, or at least some. It's an obstacle to its movement. And as the door
Dusty is
opens,
going to make sure he is between it and everyone else.
all right, you place yourself in front. You're about 10 feet from it right now.
Oof. Wait, maybe
Alright.
this was a bad idea.
Soda.
He's gonna attack the thing.
All right.
And Dusty is... Is there anybody else within 5 feet of it?
No.
Maybe I should have gotten even closer.
That'll hit.
Well,
Careful, this
yeah.
thing's got probably that poison on it.
Well, we're trying to survive here, and, you know, it's all he can do.
True enough.
All right.
Is it
As,
immune to
DeSoto
being
starts to-
prone?
Dash and pull off parts of him, grabbing one of the large leg bones and kind of just ripping it off. As DeSoto kind of pulls it back, you can see he's kind of tonguing at his mouth, almost like he has peanut butter in it, and eventually kind of doubles over and throws up a little bit. Could you give me a Constitution saving throw for him,
Yeah.
since he is using his mouth? All right, he is now poisoned.
Again.
I just fixed that.
All right, Sentinel.
Sentinel is going to,
Get your bow.
yeah, use his bow. And Hunter's Mark first.
All right.
And fire! Good thing I
That is
decided
going to
not to
miss.
go with the +1.
All right. It is its turn. It is going to surge forward and slam at you twice, Dusty.
Oh boy.
Can I do that? I totally can. That's a miss. That is a hit.
Oh dear.
All right, you take 13 points of bludgeoning damage as one of its large claws slams into you,
Ah!
almost knocking you to the ground, but you manage to keep your balance. Behind it, as it enters, the room is flooded with the poisonous air, poisonous fiery air. This acrid smoke carrying a cocktail of rather unpleasant materials.
Close the door. Button, pull.
Everyone, go ahead and please give me Constitution saving throws.
It's about time I failed. It's about. Aha! I see.
All right.
This time it was the opposite. I'm.
As you guys start to basically just hold your breath, squinting your eyes so as not to get it in your eyes so badly. Your eyes are still stinging quite heavily, though you manage to kind of keep sight of what's going on through the acrid, stinging smoke. Dusty, however, you, through your direct contact with it, quite a bit of it gets in your skin and some even gets in your mouth. You are now poisoned, and you take 8 points of poison damage. The rest of you will take 4 just from being in skin contact with the smoke.
Boy, it's a good thing I healed. Boy, it's a good thing.
All right, you go ahead and add that poison damage, everyone.
What's the poison damage?
Well, that would be 8. I think I already
Oh.
told, yeah, and that would be
Yeah,
4 to
I
everyone
already
else
added it.
who saved. Okay. All right.
Is
Zerth.
Dusty's the only one poisoned.
Yes, but the rest of you just take residual damage from it just being in contact with your skin or scale.
Oh my god, I don't have a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead on it.
All right. That's a con saving throw, right?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. All right, that's a nat 1.
Oh, yep. And he's been damaged before. So.
Alright. Oh, for saving throw. Derp. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let me grab card.
And then
Boy, I'd love to give this thing a crit fail.
for his he's gonna use his bonus action to attack with the bone saw.
All right. Go ahead and roll to attack. That is going to miss.
Ah. Okay. That's it. That's all he could do.
All right. As your bone saw revs up, it kind of stumbles forward and kind of pushes you slightly backwards, throwing the strike off. However, it does seem to be wounded heavily from that from
Holy
your
attack.
magic attack. Yeah. Dusty.
Can he see?
You can just barely through tears. By the way, you guys are still technically frightened of it, so all those attacks would be with disadvantage. Just saying.
Okay.
Everyone
even-
except Dusty, that is. Also, you can make the wisdom saving throw on the end of each of your turns.
Oh, good.
So basically, everyone roll a wisdom save now.
Yeah. That'd be DeSoto, Sentinel, and Zerth. Fail.
Nope, it's still terror.
Mm-hmm. Success. And fail.
Okay.
Alright, so DeSoto and Zerth are still frightened. Dusty.
Me, dog want nothing to
Dusty
do.
is going to shuffle to the side and start slamming that button to close the door.
Alright. You kind of shimmy around it and start trying to close the door behind it. And as it starts to grind closed, there's still a small gap where some of this smoke is pouring through, where it kind of dug its claws in to force it open, but it's much less smoke than before.
It's hell.
Yes, it definitely helped. I'd consider that probably your bonus action at the very least, in your movement.
Time to stab.
Alright.
How do you fix your issues? Stab.
Go ahead and roll to attack. I believe with disadvantage since you are poisoned.
Oh. I thought poison was just damage over time.
No, the poisoned effect. Yeah, you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. It's more of you being a little bit out of it, since the chemicals are sort of ravaging your system.
Okay.
But yeah, that would hit anyways. Very nice. As you stab into it with all your might, eyes still stinging, and as well as your skin too. DeSoto, what's he gonna do?
DeSoto's gonna back away. He can't really do anything on this.
All right.
He's gonna put as
Time
much.
reappearance. The dungeon awaits.
Is he
Rycon,
going to
thank you very
disengage?
much for that subscription. Yeah, he's gonna disengage and then get as far away as he can.
Okay, he basically runs over to the gateway, the foot of it, basically out of pure fear.
Sentinel, on the other hand, will shoot.
All right. That will miss.
Okay.
It is his turn now. It is going to... it did not like that holy attack. It's going to attack Zerth.
I have that effect on things.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a crit.
Oh no.
Could I please get
What
a
type
crit
of-
card for bludgeoning?
Alright. Drop it. Drop what you're holding. The GM decides which hand or determines randomly.
As you are readying your, and that'd be normal damage, or
Yeah, regular damage.
Okay. Oops, let me clear it. There we go. All right, that is. What was that? Ah, for your less, I think. All right.
Yeah.
As with a startling amount of strength and speed, it lances forward with one of its giant, almost pincers, smacking into you and knocking the buzzsaw from your hand as it clatters to the ground, kind of next to the wall between you and the gateway.
Mm.
All right, Zerth, it's your turn.
So I got disadvantage on attacks against him.
Correct.
How does that work with saving throws?
Saving throws, it wouldn't matter.
Okay, because he's gonna cast Toll the Dead again.
All right. Yeah, that's just a straight roll. All right, 8. It fails. All right.
And that's the most I can do.
All right. Did you roll damage? Oh, you did.
Yep.
You rolled the damage on yourself.
How did I roll the... That is not what I selected.
Also, yeah, you did 9 damage to yourself, so I'll fix that.
That's... No... Okay.
And in addition, your concentration on Shield of Faith broke.
That's
if you want
fine.
to re-enable that.
Yeah. I actually think the time for it is about up anyway.
How long does it last?
Uh...
If it's 1 hour, you're good.
Nope, it's not 1 hour.
How long is it?
10 minutes.
That'd still be good for you.
Oh, okay, so... Cool. Alright.
Yeah, we've been hustling.
Yeah. Things have been happening rather fast.
Awesome.
Alright, so cool. That was your action?
Yep.
Alright.
Yeah, nope, there's not much I'm gonna do else.
Alright, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw. You are still frightened.
That is my main stat, too.
That is ridiculous. Dusty, how are you?
Right?
By this point, the gateway is shimmering and almost shuddering, as this effect of shimmering, kind of reflecting water, starts to materialize more and more and more. There is actually what looks to be a dial, like in a like you've seen on airships or in one of those one of the lightning rails, a dial that's slowly progressing, but there's no actual needle. It's just a graphic of one. It seems to be at around 50%.
I wonder what that's doing. Oh well. Oh, this poison sucks. But do I hear it, or do I just attack? Attack.
Attack. Go ahead and roll to attack. With disadvantage since you are poisoned.
I should have cured it.
That would hit.
Well,
All right, 6 points of damage.
time to use a key point and do
Alright.
another flurry of blows with disadvantage.
That's an at one.
Yeah, I should have cured it.
Crit deck.
Alright.
Dusting off those cards.
I mean, they never really collect any dust.
Yeah.
So, natural weapon.
Pick another one.
Why?
Oh!
Oh! Jeez!
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe I should have cured this.
Well, this one is a... for a bite attack, so I am pulling a different one anyways. Tender. You take a 1d6 penalty to your next attack roll.
Yeah, that... I guess that would apply to this other one. Next card.
The next one is Cat Got Your Tongue. Take the attack's normal damage, and you are unable to speak until healed.
I bit my tongue.
Alright, so go ahead and roll damage for that. Actually, yeah. Go ahead and roll damage for that one punch.
That one punch, man.
Oh, that's max damage too. Oh, goodness.
Ow. Fuck.
You can't speak.
As you end up punching one of the exposed bone shards, it kind of sticks in your fist, and the pain makes you bite down on your tongue, leaving it bloodied and just painful and kind of useless. Is that going to be your turn?
Yes.
DeSoda.
DeSoda is staying back still. Sinnoh
Sinnoh.
will try and...
DeSoda can make a wisdom saving throw, by the way. Actually, I'll do it for him.
Oh, okay.
No longer frightened.
Yay!
That's a miss.
I haven't hit
All right.
once. This is... Ugh.
It's going to strike Dusty once, and it's going to strike Zerth once. First one's to
Okay.
Dusty. That's a 2. Not total. It's a 9 total. And that's a 25 total.
of course it is.
Yep. That's 19 points of bludgeoning damage, my man.
Bring it on. Tasty.
It spins around, and this like battering ram-sized mound of flesh and welded together bone smashes into you, almost knocking you completely on your ass, but you keep it together and kind of push your shield against the ground to push yourself up, ready for the next attack. But you are hurting. All right, it's your turn. Not yet. Never mind.
I still got... Okay, I'm gonna do Toll of the Dead again.
All right. You'd make that one. 18.
Don't think anything happens. No. Nothing happens. Okay, so, and then as my bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word.
All right. Who are you gonna cast it on?
I will cast it on myself.
That's a good idea.
Good choice. Ooh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of high rolls for damage and healing.
Mm-hmm.
Trading blows. All right, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
Now if only
All
I
right.
could actually hit.
I'm
I
feeling
believe
good about
in you
this
this
one.
time. I believe in you. There you
What?
go.
Fourth
Yeah!
time's a try?
You steel
one?
yourself.
Oh, that.
You're ready to face it. The gauge is now at 75%.
Okay. You know what?
What?
Dusty's gonna withdraw a little bit.
All right. Are you going to disengage?
Yes.
All right. Just making sure. All right. As you pull back, putting some space between you and it, you make it, I'd say, like 10, 15 feet back before you back up against a wall.
He's going to check that case again. He's not sure how many of those vials were in there.
It was a. You quickly look through it again.
There were red and blue ones.
Yes, there was 2 red, and then there was 1 small blue one. You also find 2 rolls of gauze.
Tape, basically.
Yeah. To patch up bleeding, which you are bleeding quite a bit, especially from your fist.
He wants to give that blue one to Zerth. Because he can probably stay in the fight longer. Dusty did his best. Because I believe at this point we've used both red ones.
Use both what?
I think we used both red ones.
Correct.
Leaving only the blue and the gauze. So he's going to shuffle over and shove the blue potion in Zerth's mouth.
Alright. Sure. I'd say that was your bonus action to give that to him.
I just kind of imagine that it's more of just put the whole bottle in his massive jaw and he just kind of swallows the whole thing.
Well, then how does it get out of the vial?
Well, obviously you pull the top off, so,
really...
you know, it's
Yeah.
leaking out into him, but, you know.
Crunchy health potion.
Your jaw is almost completely numb. As wherever this this mixture touches, it basically just goes completely numb. You can still kind of feel it there, but the pain's gone, and you feel this strange kind of tingling sensation. You feel very full in your lungs, like you've got a full. You just feel you breathe so hard, and you feel so invigorated. Yeah, that's basically what you would feel from that, Zerth. Invigorated.
Interesting.
Huh, maybe we should have given that one the Sinnoh.
Alright, that would definitely be the end of your turn. DeSota.
Does anything else happen to Zerth, or just that?
Just that. As far as you're aware, that's all that happens.
DeSota is still just hanging back. He can't really engage this thing.
Alright.
Come over here, doggy. We'll be in the poisoned corner. We'll be
Sinnel's gonna move up, put a hand on Dusty's shoulder, making sure he stays far enough away so he can get back again.
Bleh.
Ooh, wow.
I'm being no use with my bow back here, so here. At least I can keep you in the fight.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you had something for poison, but this works. Also, thank you for healing me. I can talk now.
That's a 24 to hit. Oh, that would have been disastrous if that hit, by the way.
Ooh.
Oh.
It is 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
He's down.
I am down.
Oh, I thought I already rolled it on you. Never mind.
Boy, I hope that potion had other effects.
So, as your breath sort of leaves your body, you're kind of knocked breathless, and as you slowly fall kind of tumble to the ground, trying to regain your breath, you realize you don't need to breathe right now. And as such, you can kind of slowly pull yourself up. You've got 1 HP.
Ah, good.
And for a short while, you do not need to breathe. Though, however, once that wears off, you might fall unconscious anyways.
All right.
And at this point, there's a very strange sound as a lot of the smoke is kind of rapidly being sucked out of the room. And the rest of you, aside from Zerth, you would realize it is getting a little harder to breathe. As it is quite apparent right now that all the air is being sucked out of the room through that little hole in the door.
Oh, dear.
All right. Zerth, your turn.
All right. I'm going to... Oh my god. I am not doing well.
No.
I am going to roll dice.
All right.
And that's going to depend on what I'm doing. Let's see. High, I'm going to attack. Low, I'm going to defend. So I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
All right.
And I'm going to, as my bonus action, cast Healing Word on me.
All right. Oofta. That's pretty low rolls.
Yeah.
Well, you
Doing
got
great on
11
these rolls.
Mm.
And just going to take up a defensive position. Go, nah.
All right. At this exact moment, the gate gives a resounding clunk as the ring stops spinning and sticks in one spot, but that rippling effect, almost like looking into the air from below the water, is now solid. It is tangible, and looking at the gauge, which is now completely full, you reckon it's probably time to go. As at the same moment as well, from somewhere in the distance, you hear a muffled explosion through your feet as the air is getting quite thin and not really carrying much sound anymore. Dusty.
Oh boy. Well, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Does that thing look like it's being does this thing look like it could possibly be affected by the suction of the door?
Possibly. If you're doing what I think you're doing, it might be able to hold him back, though you're not quite sure.
I'm still poisoned, so this might not work. But I can try my best. I'm going to re-engage, attack. Oh, disadvantage. Because I'm still poisoned. Can't shake that off.
Alright, that is going to miss.
Well, I still made an attack with the monk weapon, so now I'm going to activate Flurry of Blows.
Alright.
None shall see me. Though my battle cry may give me away.
What's his AC? Why does it not show?
We've got
That
an
will not hit.
influence for Dusty.
Alright.
Oh.
Sure.
That's
Dusty,
alright.
since you are fairly desperate, you have 1 lucky point.
Oh. Okay. I'll probably use it for this next roll then. Because
Alright.
I just need this. I just need to connect once. No, I won't, seems like.
Alright. That one
Wait,
hits.
I can use lucky points on my opponents. And now, since I took the way of the open palm, I believe one of the effects is push my enemies back. And I'm going to push him against the door.
Alright. What sort of save does he have to make against that? Or is there no save?
There is one of 3 effects I'm gonna right now with the open hand. Let's see. I could take away its reaction, no save against that. It must make a strength saving throw. If it fails, you push it 15 feet away from you. And you know what? I'm going to use my lucky point to give it a disadvantage on its saving roll.
Alright. That's good. Because it rolled a 20, and then it rolled a 5.
Oh, thank goodness.
20 was rolled first, too. Alright, it is pushed 15 feet back and slams against the door. Its pure weight causes it to bow outwards a bit, making the gap a little bit larger as you hear a terrifying, just sickening sucking sound. As it tries to pull itself forward, it finds that it can't right now, as it is now stuck against the door.
Dusty just nods to himself and says, "Okay, good. Let's go." Let's go.
You guys can barely hear him at this point. Air is very thin and it is getting hard to breathe.
He's just gonna start running and hope everyone just figures it out.
Alright. As you start running towards the portal.
DeSoda's
Soda.
gonna take off to the portal.
Alright, he's just gonna follow Dusty.
Yeah,
Alright. So no.
same thing.
Alright.
Now, Azurth is back up, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
Yeah, he healed himself so that he won't fall unconscious when that potion wears off.
Alright,
Mhm.
let's see if he passes his strength check.
Did he?
You hear a creaking noise as the door behind him from the suction starts to creak and groan. And he stretches out a claw once, grabs at the floor, starts pulling. And at that moment, the door behind him gives way, and the rest of the air is just instantaneously sucked out of the room into the surrounding hallways.
Oh,
Um,
shoot.
all of your ears pop violently. Everything's just feeling unpleasant for the brief moment that you're still in this room before plunging into the portal. Zerth, it is your turn.
How close is this portal to me and the abomination to me?
The abomination
got sucked out into space.
it has not gotten sucked out yet. It is
Oh.
currently hanging on by its claws at the just outside the door. It caught itself as it was getting sucked out. But you are now about 15 feet from the gateway, and it is around 50 feet from you.
Okay. Has the other two gone into the gateway yet?
Would you guys have waited?
Yeah, I would have
Zerth
waited
would've
for
told you-
everybody.
I mean, Zerth would have said just jump.
No. he
Dusty
waits.
would not. He knows he would have wanted to wait, but he cannot breathe. He can't wait.
All right. As you guys basically just all sprint out the portal.
Zerth was gonna do one last Toll of the Dead and flip him off as he jumps
Alright.
into the portal.
saving throw. Alright. He does not make it. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. As you leap through the portal, you all are incredibly disoriented as things are changing and flipping around you. You're tumbling through the air. Air! It's back! You can breathe. Those Earth, you might not really need to. As you tumble through the air, you try to kind of catch what's going on and exactly where you are. Before you can do that, you slam into the water about 30 feet down from the portal. In the relatively warm waters of the lake, which you were previously at.
That Sky Castle sucked.
As you tread water on the surface, you look upwards and you see that a shimmering kind of portal slowly sort of iris shut until with a like the sound of distant thunder zips closed.
They're just gonna go, fuck you too, Skyhole. As he's just gonna kind of like swim in circles, just enjoying the cool water.
All right.
Dusty's just gonna like float before just yelling out loud. Fuck!
Language.
As you're lying there, you try to remember back on your experiences, and they start slipping away like a dream. Until you're left with only vague notions, vague ideas. You went somewhere, you fought something horrible, awful. But you do have some souvenirs.
Dang it! Now I don't have anything cool for Yark.
You have the lighter.
I guess that works.
You have all those beers.
Sinnoh has those.
Mhm.
He's probably not gonna share.
No, probably not. And for Zerth,
I might.
Actually, I have a number of things with me.
Zerth,
I wrote them down as I
Yep.
got them.
you have the saw. I'll give you a proper stat sheet for that too.
Awesome.
Let's see. Dusty has the strangely light steel crowbar, the intricate shears, the sword hilt with a trigger, the thin case with the 2 rolls of gauze, a scalpel.
You would have that. You would have the sword hilt and the lighter.
Just that?
Yep.
Do I still have that magical box that clearly was a cell phone that wasn't a cell phone?
No, you do not, and that was not a cell phone.
Oh, I'm gonna go to bed thinking it's a cell phone. That will help me sleep better.
All right, fine.
Dang,
I'll
I wanted
accept
to
it.
add that scalpel to my sawing kit.
Mhm.
Why did I write all this stuff down?
So-
he's gonna look at his saw and like, oh,
That's all I had for this session. Do you guys remember what sort of HP you were at? Actually, I think I do remember exactly what sort of HP you were at.
I think I had 10.
Yeah.
Because I
Dusty.
Caught in the fire.
I don't think I was
Next to me.
harmed.
Okay, yeah. Then it was just Zerth.
Yeah, I remember dexterity saving throw. And
I think
passed.
Sinnoh had
Yeah.
8.
Sinnoh had 8.
I think.
I'll write that in there.
I know it was either Sinnoh or Tesoda that had 8.
I think it was Sinnoh. I think Tesoda
think
was
so.
in the back.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
sword hilt and the lighter.
The lighter, yes.
Darn, that seemed like a really nice crowbar, but I didn't really have any chance to use it.
Sinnoh, you have 9 closed bottles of beer.
Yay! I already added those to my sheet.
All right.
And my bottle
And they're
cap.
all the labels.
Don't forget that
all-
clearly valuable bottle cap.
and the bottle cap. All the bottles are labeled in that same strange text that you saw in the other place. And you really can't read it. The actual label is kind of just a nondescript red. Yeah. And yeah, that's really all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you had fun.
Oh yeah.
I certainly didn't expect it.
I was expecting Hot Spring, not Terror Spring, and I loved it.
Hell yeah.
Dusty did surprisingly well for Dead Space.
It was so good.
Darn, I wonder how good that scalpel was. We don't have precision tools like that in this day and age.
All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening for Echoes of Eberron Dungeons & Dragons. I will be back tomorrow. I will not be back tomorrow. We are preparing a new D&D campaign. Those of you that the channel are welcome to come join us on voice and listen in. You won't or anything, but you know, listen and see some of the startup behind the scenes stuff. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining. I'll be back next on Thursday. We're starting Diablo 3 with Toya and I are going to be doing that. So thank you all so much for joining, and I bid you all a very fond adieu.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Ho-ho.
Bye-bye.